What's going on, everybody? It is your humble YouTube host, Tim, back with another live stream. How you doing? Come on in. I hope the fan isn't too distracting, um, but it's hot, and it'll give people something to watch other than just me. But interesting topic today. Something I was thinking about recently. Kind of a mindset thing, um, a perception thing. Something I really want to talk about. So we'll get into it. We'll wait a minute though. Get a few more people here, a few more people coming in, a few more people hitting the like button, hopefully. Good to see y'all. What up, OG? What's up, Cookie Monster? Autumn, Monkey checking in. We're not even talking about that, OG, but I mean, hey, it can work. It can work in that aspect too. It can work in that aspect too. Angela, world's best moderator, checking in. Just put a B. Okay. I don't know what that stands for, but I respect it. What, what up, Rochelle? Starfish, Tyrell, Texas. Hello. Locks, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. How are you? Um, yeah, I heard we're gonna get into it. We're gonna 50 people. I wait till there's like 50 people, then we get into it. Real quick. Okay, okay, are we back? Are we back? Sorry about the technical difficulties, folks. You know how it is. This is this is life on the road, you know. Okay, cool, cool, cool. We back, we back. Yeah, yeah. You know how it is. This is life on the road. Your internet be perfect, no problems. And then the moment you go to stream, especially, see, this is how you know you got a good topic. The moment you go to stream, the internet get crazy, but it doesn't stop us. It don't stop us. We still won. I appreciate y'all sticking around. So, uh, the topic I wanted to talk about today is the difference between fear and worry, because I think we kind of take them to be like synonymous. I think most of the times we feel like if I'm scared of something, I need to worry about it. But the two are like absolutely different things. They're totally separate, right? They're totally separate things. Now, you can worry about things you're scared of, but you also cannot worry about things you're scared of. You know what I mean? And I think that's a very powerful message because I think we all get scared. We all have fear. Someone commented early, fear is not real. I respectfully disagree. It doesn't help someone who's scared of something or in a fearful state to tell them the fear is not real because I'm scared right now. You know what I mean? So that's why I used to say stuff like that. And these days I don't. Like, fear is real. Being scared is real. But we can get to a point where we just accept, like, okay, I'm scared. One of the big things I like to say, especially when it's like not something like life-threatening fear or something like that. A lot of times we just get scared to do different things in life. We get scared to do new things in life. We got fear of uncertainty. The wonderful thing is you can do whatever it is you're trying to do scared. You can be totally scared to do something and still do it. Right? So like you don't have to get rid of the fear, which you can't do a lot of times. But you can embrace the fear, you can accept the fear. And also, even if we are scared of something possibly happening in the future. And I think this is why it's timely to talk about this in this day and age, because there, for a lot of us, there are a lot of things that, like, we're looking at the world around us and we're kind of low key scared about, kind of nervous about. But I don't think that means we have to spend our time 24/7 worrying about it. And that's the problem. Like, the problem isn't getting scared. The problem isn't fear. The problem comes after the fear. It's what we do after we're scared. It's what we do after we become fearful. That is the problem. And for a lot of us, we just sit around and worry about it and worry and worry and worry and worry. And that's the problem. That's the stress. That's the anxiety. That's the bad energy. That's the bad health. But it is possible to accept that, like, something is probable, to accept that, like, this might happen, and then turn around and say, but I'm not going to worry about it. You know what I mean? Because, like, it might not happen. 90% of the things we worry about never happen. Okay. There is not enough time in the day. You are not going to live long enough Newsflash, you are not going to live long enough for all the stuff you're worried about to happen, right? For all the things you're fearful of to actually happen. Not enough. You no, no. I mean, just think about it. Just think about it. I was thinking about this the other day. How often are we worried about something and then it resolves itself? And in a lot of cases, it never even happens, or it works out in a way that's favorable to us, or is not as bad as we thought. And it's something we've been worrying about, and it's been the focus of our worry for months. As soon as it goes away, we start worrying about something else. You ever notice that on the ride home from from the resolution of that situation on the ride home, we start worrying about something else. So, like, the worry is not real. It's just something we do. It is possible to be scared. It is possible to be petrified. Just like internally, but not worry. Just like, I'm not going to worry about this. I'm going to accept that it's a possibility. I'm gonna maybe do whatever I can to keep the situation from happening. I'm going to do whatever research I can. I'm going to take whatever steps I can, but I'm not going to worry about it. Now, it does take practice, because if your whole life you're used to like being scared then worrying about it, you know, in your mind, A leads to B. But like, we can get to a point where we just don't allow ourselves to do that. What's going to happen is going to happen. What's not going to happen is not going to happen. Worry doesn't stop any of it. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to be fearful. It's okay to cry. It's you know what I mean? Like, it's okay to call your boy up, like, bro, I don't know what am I doing with this app. You know what I mean? It's okay. But it's that worry. It's that, because it becomes a habit. And I think most of us have seen it in our lives. It becomes a habit. And then we worry about the big stuff. We worry about the little stuff. We worry about the mediocre stuff. We worry about other people's stuff. And it becomes this cycle of worry. We're not even living no more. We get so caught up in worrying that even when we're not scared, we start finding stuff to be scared of. We sit on social media looking for something to scare us so we can worry about it. We can talk about it. It becomes a cycle. It becomes what we do. It almost becomes like an addiction. Like, worry becomes like an addiction, bro. Like, we just get used to like the worry, and like we need something to worry. It's crazy. We get to the point we're not even worried about stuff we scared of. We making up stuff to worry about. Hey, Clint Perry, I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad, thank you so much. Said I'm a 66-year-old white man, and I appreciate your channel and thoughts. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that, Clint. Just goes to show we all human. We all, everybody. So thank you, Clint. I appreciate the love, the continued support. 66-year-old, we out here. We here, all ages. We coming together. And Lonely Girl TV said, my favorite YouTuber. Thank you, thank you. Shout out to you. But yeah, it's not the stuff. Like, worry is totally separate, right? And if we can wrap our heads around that, this worry thing over here is just this separate, unhealthy thing we do that really does nothing. And even if we can't get to the point where we never worry, you can get to the point where you worry less. You can get to the point where like you only like worry if it's like something major. And I think that's winning the game. I think that's winning the game. You know, if you only worry about like the major stuff, like they literally come in tomorrow to kick us out the apartment. Okay, yeah. But like, for most of them, and I know for me, like when I'm in my worry bag, when I'm not, you know, staying on top of it, it just be little regular stuff. It be stuff I see on social media that really's got nothing to do with me. It's just random stuff people say. Oh, they trying to blah blah blah. And I'm like, and then I start worrying, like, bro, like, until it manifests in your life, until you see it, until it comes up, until it happens, what do I need to worry about it for? And when it does happen, well, it's too late to worry. Now we in the mix. Now we, you know what I mean? Like, now I'm in the mix. That's why, like, all the time, and a lot of y'all probably know this because a lot of y'all live kind of different lifestyles as well, or you think differently or whatever. And people are always trying to scare us by saying, oh, what if this happens? What if this happens? What if this happens? Then it happens. You know what I mean? Like, you can't make me worry about something just by mentioning it might happen, because I've already thought of it. You know, like, if I'm the one living this lifestyle, if me or you are the one doing whatever me and you are doing, when people come along and try to like get us fearful and worried about it, what if about certain possibilities happening? You're like, bro, I already thought about that. Sis, I already thought about that. And does the prospect of some of that stuff happening scare me a little bit? Sure. Am I sitting around worried about it? No, because I'm too busy living my life. And that's really the point of this whole discussion is life should be lived. Life should be spent living. Life should be spent doing, experiencing, enjoying, not worrying. But for most people, it is we just one worry to the next. Just one. It's an ongoing cycle. As soon as one worry's done, the worries overlap. Even before you get one done, there's another one, and then as soon as that one's gone, there's another one. It's just like it's okay to see that there's the possibility for pain in life. It's okay to see that there's a possibility for suffering. It's okay to understand, hey, in this situation, something I'm not excited about might happen. But that doesn't mean we need to spend every waking hour worrying about it because, like, nothing happens. Like, worrying is just like spinning your tires in the car. Like, you don't go nowhere. Nothing happens. Nothing changes. That's why you have to keep worrying. Right? The reason why you have to keep worrying is because nothing happens. Like I always say, if worrying worked, we would have worried our problems away years ago. Wouldn't nobody have no problems? You would have stopped having problems in like high school because you would have mastered how to worry your problems away. It doesn't work. So the goal is not to have it'd be nice if we could have drama-free lives. It'd be nice if we could have lives with no fear. It'd be nice if we could have lives where like there wasn't the possibility of bad happening. But that's not the game, right? That's not the card we was dealt in this universe, on this planet, as a human being. It comes with all that. Now, for a lot of us, that's not the majority of what happens in our life. That's not the main thing we go through. Ironically, we worry like it is, but that's not the main thing we go through. But like, that's the game. But that doesn't and you would think that knowing that that's the game, we would have accepted it long ago and just been like, oh yeah, things happen. You know, that's why some people like the people who live the mantra "ish happens," very chill people. If you see somebody with "ish happens" like as a bumper sticker or on their car, they're usually like a very chill person because they just get things happen, bro. You can't get that person worked up. Oh, what about this? What about that? They're like, bro, things happen. And that's how we can be in life. That's how we can be in life. It's okay to have fear. Some things are going to cause you fear. Trying to suppress your fear is not helpful. You can be like, I'm scared of that. If that happens, but we don't have to sit around 24/7 envisioning it happening. We don't have to sit around 24/7 talking about it. You may want to run it down with somebody, boom, 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 a problem shared is a problem halved, but most people, especially this day and age with like social media, we get scared of something and then we start worrying about it and then we just talk about it, talk about it, talk about it. And then we watch other people's videos about it and we watch news stories about it and they get us even more scared and we get even more worried. And it's just not healthy. I think this is why we're seeing a rise in like anxiety. I've never heard more people talk about anxiety. Never, never, never. As someone who's had his little social anxiety thing for most of his life, I'm like, welcome. No, no, John, that's bad stuff. That's bad. Don't be. It's not. You know what I mean? But I think it is because we're worrying at like an all-time level. I think it starts with cutting a lot of that stuff out your life. Like it seems odd to me that more than ever we like to consume things that scare us. We like to consume negative things. We like to actively bring into our house, bring into our living situation, put in front of us things that like scare us. And then we sit around and worry about them. And then we wake up tomorrow and do the same thing. 10 hours a day on our phones looking at stuff that's scaring us. And then we wonder why like we're unhealthy, stressed, anxious. It's crazy. Like we have to actively the right course in life, or I should say the best course in life. The best course in life is not always the easiest one. Like just left to our own, human monkey brains. Yeah, we're gonna look at we're gonna pull our phone out and look at the scariest, juiciest, most, whatever attracts us the most stuff. That doesn't always lead to the best life, though, folks. Now, if that's what you want to do, fine. There's no rules. Do what you want to do. But like sometimes in life, if we're trying to go for the best life possible, or trying to go for a better life, or trying to like just enjoy this life, sometimes we have to be a little smarter than like our human monkey brain. Bleh. And we have to be like, wait a second. Yeah, it would probably it in the moment, you know, but like maybe that's not the best thing for me to watch. Maybe that's not the best thing for me to consume day in and day out. Maybe this isn't the best topic for me to talk about. Maybe these negative, scared people, worried people, uh, who are always trying to scare me and get me worried aren't the best people for me to hang out with every day. They're fun, but like ultimately, what is this doing to me? Sometimes we got to push that stuff away. And like when you don't, I always say one of the an experience that like really showed me the truth in this, and this is around the time when I really started making videos about not watching the news. Some of y'all have been around for a while. You know the story I'm about to tell, but I like to tell it. So here we go, because it literally was eye opening to me when I went in 2015, summer of 2015. When I went and worked in Yellowstone National Park, back then there was like no cell signal out there. Like I literally would have to like I've been a Drake fan since then. So I remember it was a Drake. So what song was it? But I remember one day I was off work and I was in employee housing and I wanted to listen to some music and there was like a new Drake song or something. Um, I literally had to go on YouTube, load the song, hit pause, and let the song. Now this is like a 3-minute song. I had to let the song load for about 10 minutes. This is how bad the signal was. I had to like put my phone down and like go take a shower. And when I came out, I could play the song because it took that long for it to like load. You know what I mean? Oh, it was horrible. Like you couldn't watch a video. Like it was, yeah, the cell signal and the Wi-Fi out there was horrible. So because of that, I stopped trying to like get on the internet, you know? I might check my email. Like I said, you couldn't watch a video, so like that's the main thing I do online. Um, so I just stopped getting on the internet. Get off work, I might go in the woods, hang out with my friends. You take naps, you take hikes, like you just find other stuff to do. And so I did because of this, I didn't know any of the news that was going on. I didn't know any of the news. Like trust me, when you an hour deep into Yellowstone National Park, and the only people you associate with are people on vacation and people who work with you, nobody's talking about the news. No, no, you know what I mean? So like on the occasions when I would call back home, I get a chance, I call my friends back home. Or I think it was when I like went home, especially people would be asking me about, oh, when so and so happened, what was all like they would be talking about all these current events or things that had happened. And I hadn't heard of none of it. I'm like, what are y'all talking about? They was like, oh, you don't remember a couple months ago when the thing with the I'm like, I didn't even know that happened, bro. And they were looking at me like I was crazy. But I remember being like, oh, wait, there's all this stuff that like people in the real world, those of us who work seasonal jobs, we call regular, like the real world, um, non-seasonal work life, the real world. Those people in the real world had like gone through all this stuff and they'd been stressed about it and worried about it. And a lot of it never affected any of them, but like they had, fear and worry around it. For me, I didn't know anything about it, so I didn't have any of the stress or worry about it. And I realized, like, oh, I don't have to know everything that's going on in the world. I don't have to consume this doom and gloom content and all this fear mongering and all this other stuff. And it was one of like the best summers. You know what I mean? Because I didn't have all this going on. I was just living my life, bro. All that stuff was I don't know, like it was just wasn't a part of my life anymore. And I was like, I want to keep it that way. And I think from doing that for so long, or trying to do that, it has got me to a place where I firmly know and realize that like you don't have to be tapped into all this stuff. You don't have to bring all this stuff. You become what you consume, whether that's food, whether that's yeah, social media, whatever it is, conversation. You become what you consume. What you bring in is what's going to go back out. So if all you're bringing in is just like fear and worry, you're just going to be full of fear and worry, and you're going to spout that back out. And it's not healthy. It's not good. Like, think of the most fearful, worried person you know. Do you want their life? Then think of the most content person you know. I think this is why we're like so fascinated by like monks and it's like Buddhist monks or whatever, because they're just like, they just sit for hours. They don't care. They not stressed. They not worried. I think we're fascinated by like Buddhist monks because like, a lot of them, I think it's changing, but in the past, a lot of them didn't work or they didn't, they had very little. You would think they'd be the most worried people. How am I going to eat today? How am I going to, take care of myself? But they're the least worried. They know the possibilities there of bad things happening, running out of money, whatever, but you're just not worried about it. Lots of things are possible. Most of them won't happen. And if they do, well, then I'm not going to spend the time leading up to it worrying about it. Like if something crazy bad is going to happen to me in 3 months, I want to spend the next 3 months living my life. And then when it happens, I'll deal with it then. Why do I want to worry about it for 3 months and then it happened? Like now I'm having to deal with it beforehand and during. Nah, you can be scared. You can be scared. It's okay. It's okay to acknowledge fear. We be trying to run from fear. Now, if you can do things to keep your fear level down, yes. But I think there will always be things that the possibility of scares us. That you don't need to run from that. You're human. It's in your DNA. Run as much as you want. You just gonna be scared and tired. Like like you're just gonna be mentally tired trying to run from things. Dumb things scare you, but you don't have to worry about them. And you definitely don't have to worry about them like ad nauseum. The idea is like, yeah, man, that might suck, but I'll deal with that when I get to it. Boom. You do that enough, you get to a point where like that becomes like your natural state. And we all know people like this. I'm not talking about me. Like we all know people like this. I think that's why a lot of times you see older people, your grandparents, your great grandparents, you were blessed to have them in your life. They've gotten this way over years of just understanding. Some stuff gonna happen, some won't. You get to be about, I'd assume you get to be about 80 some years old. You done been through this enough that you're like, I'm not even. Not to mention, you're about to get up out of here soon. So a lot of that stuff don't even bother you no more. I appreciate y'all hitting the like button. Almost at 100 likes. Thank y'all. If we get to 100, that'd be amazing. Thank y'all. 88's amazing, but 100 would be amazinger. 1 second. It's all up here, folks. It's all up here. Once we tap into like how powerful we are, especially in our own life, I think we're powerful. Yeah, I mean, we're all in the universal mix, so I think we're all powerful. But we're all powerful in our own life. We all are powerful, but we're all powerful in our own life. Thank y'all, 800 likes. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. That's love. Thank y'all. We're so powerful in our own life, and that's one area where we have the power to say, I'm not from here on out. I'm not going to just get wrapped up in all this worry. I'm not going to do it. I've decided I'm not doing it. And it doesn't matter what happens in the world around me, or it's not the deciding factor. What happens in the world around us does affect us, but the deciding factor of like how much we worry is us. Because once again, two people could be in the same situation, and one person is consumed by worry, and the other person just worries a little bit. Yeah, it's not what happens. And a lot of times, yeah, like times like these, everybody is on the lookout to find the new thing to scare other people about. When we get, it was the same thing in like 2020. You remember. Now, granted, there was some craziness going on 2020, 2021. But you remember how it was. Every time you talk to certain people, they was always trying to tell you about something new that was going on. Just trying to keep the fear and the worry going. It doesn't have to be that way. Like it doesn't have to, you don't have to be that type. We don't have to be those type of people. We can just be like, okay, if it happens, it happens. And keep it pushing. We don't have to take part in that. It's not healthy, bro. It's you play, I think on some level we playing into the bigger game of control. Nothing the powers that be. By the way, whenever I say they are the powers that be, people always comment, but who are they? Once you figure that out, you're there. And once you figure out where there is, game over, problem solved. But yeah, the powers that be, there's nothing more they like than us thinking we have no control over our life. And one of the things they love to do is just pump out that propaganda, that doom and gloom. That's basically what the news is, right? Didn't start out that way, I don't think, but that's what it's become. And the more we think, oh, I can't do, and and this is, I tell you, it all ties together. When we're trying to, and in this community, I know we're out here trying to live the best life. Like we're trying to live lives that bring us joy, bring us happiness, bring us fulfillment, that allow us to spend the time with our loved ones and just do all the things. That list you have of what you want your life to look like, hopefully you have one of those. If not, side note, this is something I'm doing every day now. Oh, it's over there. But yeah, if you've never written down what you want your life to look like, powerful, powerful. Just take 10 minutes a piece. The funny thing is you'll be surprised how hard it is first time around, first few times. You'll be surprised how hard it is. Try it. You'll say, or maybe it's just me, but I think you'll be surprised how hard it is because we're not used to doing that. We're not used to saying aloud or writing down what exactly we want our life to look like. What we're used to doing is looking at the world around us and being like, oh, I guess this is all I can do. We're used to figuring out what our life might be able to look like based on what's going on in the world around us. Very rarely do we sit down and say, oh, this is what I want from life. Take 20 minutes, a piece of paper, a pen, a pencil, your phone. Write down 10 things you want to happen in your life or 15 bullet points of like what you want your life to look like. Powerful, powerful. But we're not used to doing that. We're used to, like I said, look around at the world around us and be like, oh, if this is happening, well, maybe I can do this, or everybody says I should do this. And that takes us from having the control in our life. And the more worried we are, this was my point. I started on this point like 5 minutes ago. This was my point. The more worried we are, the more we let things that scare us cause us to worry 24/7, the less brain power, the less time, energy, and brain power we have to work on that list of things we're trying to do. And so they've got control because things that they've put in place have now taken over our life, our thought processes. And so our life becomes just trying to work through their stuff as opposed to us being like, hey, I have control and I decide what I sit and think about all day long. I decide what I consume. I decide where I end up, who I'm going to be, what I'm going to do. Are there going to be hurdles? Yes. Are there obstacles? Yes. Is there competition? Yes. Life would be no fun without no obstacles, no hurdles, no competition. You know what I mean? It'd be like if sports, you wouldn't watch sports. It would be the boringest sport ever if there was just one person on the court throwing the basket, throwing the ball at the basket, and they made it every time. You'd never watch if there was just one person on the court throwing the ball at the basket and they couldn't miss, you'd never watch it. You'd be like, what is this? The same is true as life, bro. Like, I think we got to have obstacles. We got to have hurdles. We got to have competition. Da, 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 da. But like, that's not what life is. You know, that just makes it life. But that's not what life is. That's just a part of it. The hardships are just a part of it. Using like the basketball analogy, it's funny that like a lot of times in life we focus on the hardships, and that becomes what our life is about. But using like the basketball analogy, like people remember the points you score. Like we remember the points you score and the steals you get, all that stuff. No one remembers the fouls, right? If you think about any like epic sports performance, no one can tell you, they're like, oh man, so and so dropped 60 points last night. How many fouls did he have? People are like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Kelsey Plum had 37 points in her WNBA season opener with LA. Great performance, I think the first person to get 35, 15, 5, and 5, whatever. No one remembers the fouls, right? Whenever someone has an amazing sports performance, he hit 4 home runs, one game. How many times did he strike out? I don't know. You know what I mean? But that's like life is like that. Yeah, like we don't like you remember the life should be we should focus on and remember the wins. We should focus on and make life about like the good stuff. The hardship is just the things we have to endure to get to that stuff. It's like, yeah, if I want to do all this stuff on my list, I'm gonna have some obstacles. There's some things that have to come up, I'm gonna have to circumnavigate, I'm gonna have to, that's part of it. But that's not what we should focus on. That's the fouls, that's the strikeouts. We need to be focusing on these points, these home runs. Focus on how we're winning in life. And I think when we, and this is something I'm definitely been trying to incorporate and like think about is like, that's why I do my list every day. When I have a clear guideline in front of me of what I'm trying to do in this life, it gives me something to think about. It gives me something to like ponder. It gives me something to work on. It gives me something to take action on. And I don't have as much time to worry. Like even if something makes me scared or I'm nervous about something, one of the things I've been saying lately, Tim, is like, okay, we've identified you're kind of scared about this. Instead of you sitting here worrying about it, get up and turn your laptop on and do some work. Like I forget what it was the other day. There was something that was bothering me. And I'm not gonna lie, I was in that zone. I was just sitting in bed lying about it. And I was like, Tim, no, no, no. You're not gonna sit here and worry about this because it doesn't work. Get up and do some work. Worry doesn't work. Get up and do some real work. So I got up and I started doing research. I'm trying to find one more stock to invest in for my dividend portfolio. I want around 10. I got 9 now. I want 10. So I'm like, Tim, get up and do some work. So, I started doing some investing research. And lo and behold, I forgot what I was worrying about. I don't even remember now what it was. But I'm realizing, yeah, when we don't have like a clear path of where we're trying to go, if we don't have things that are beneficial to us to think about, to work on, to take action on, to like, if we don't have something to keep us focused, then yeah, it's easy. Like the second someone mentions something that could be fearful or frightening, or could cause us pain, we immediately go to worry because we got nothing else. And I think we can train ourselves to focus on the important stuff. Whenever you find yourself like, back on this, not going, nope, back on this. And then, you fast forward 6 months down the line and like a lot of this stuff starts to become, just it starts to become second nature. Like worry became second nature because we did it so much. Growing up, we saw everybody else doing it, so we started to do it. It's become second nature. A lot of cases, first nature, probably. Um, but the opposite can be true. Taking action, accepting the fear and moving on, that type of stuff can become second nature, first nature, if you do it enough. A lot of this stuff we think it just has to be the way it is because that's the way we've always done it or we've always seen it. But no, like you have power to change all this stuff. I don't like this about my life. I'm going to change it. I'm tired of worrying. I'm going to change it. No one can tell you you can't. I mean, they can, but that they can't stop you from changing it. It's your life. It's your mind. If you don't want to use it to worry, you can change it. Like you got the power. Like it's you. This is why we're given free will. This is why we're given imagination. This is a word we don't talk about near enough. The imagination, like one of the most powerful things out there. Nobody talks about. It's almost a bad word these days. If you have the power to imagine a different life, and then you have the power to take the steps to get there. You can imagine what you need to do to get there. I don't know if the animals can do this. I think they just got instinct. They just kind of, I just do what I do. It's funny how sometimes we humans, with free will, imagination, thought, we live like instinctive almost lives. Well, everybody out there, I'm just gonna do what they do. Just like, bro, like you got the tools. Animals ain't got a toolkit. You got a whole mental toolkit. We can use it. We can use it. We can work on the anxiety, especially like the extra. I think I'm not sure on this, but it seems like different people have different base levels of anxiety or more anxiety in different areas. But beyond that, that extra anxiety, a lot of that's us. And once again, a lot of it's learned. The people around us who we grew up around, they might have been very anxious. They might have been very worried. You just, as a kid, you pick up on that. You think that's what you're supposed to do. It's not true. It's not true. It's not true. You don't have to live like that. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that was my spiel. Okay. That was really Something I've been thinking about a lot lately. So I just wanted to get on here and run down that, run tell that. Retired 2019. If anyone just coming in, like there was nothing specific I'm scared about. Uh, I mean, there's always things we're all I think scared of, but there was no specific topic. Um, we were just talking about the fact that like you can be scared but not worried. So there, like I said, there's things in all of our lives that scare us, things that cause us fear. And I don't think we have to run from that or try to suppress it. I think we can embrace like, oh, that scares me. And it's a possibility, but you don't have to sit around and worry about it. So yeah, like you said, feel fear, do it anyway. Like there's and it's funny too. There are endless possibilities of like fearful things that can happen every single day. Um, yeah, there's endless things that can happen to us. And there's lots of risk and chances we take on a daily basis that don't scare us and we don't worry about them because we're just used to it. And we've done it enough and nothing bad has happened that we're used to it. It's the little stuff a lot of times that like pops up and we're not used to dealing with it that gets us really fearful and really worried about it. But the numbers are about the same on most things. Like the percentages and the likelihoods are about the same on a lot of stuff, you know. And so like if you just think I think about that a lot of like, okay, this thing over here is dangerous, but you do it every day, so you don't worry about it. This thing over here that you don't do as often and now you're worried about it, the likelihood of it happening is about the same. So if you just go ahead and do it, get it out the way, continually do it, your worry and your fear, and by extension, the worry hopefully will become less as well. So actually by doing it, you're helping with the fear. You're lessening the worry. But if the more we hold off from doing something because we're scared to do it, like then you have no data to support that it probably won't happen. So actually doing it is probably the most helpful thing. Hey, Harsh, sorry to hear life's got your back against the wall right now. Hang in there, my friend. Hang in there. Hang in there. It be that way sometimes. And definitely we'll say some prayers for you when this is over. But yeah, keep your head up. Just don't let it may have you back against the wall, but you can still, sometimes that's when you fight the hardest. Then backs up against the ropes, you back up against the wall. They always say don't corner a wild animal. You can go wild animal on life, Harsh. Don't hey, okay, keep my back up against this wall, see what happened to you. Because I got nowhere else to go. So we just go, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Do what you got to do. Do what you got to do, man. Come on, but yeah, definitely hang in there, Harsh. Hang in there. Hang in there, please. I just jumped in the chat. So if you said something earlier and you want to say it again, please feel free to put in the chat again because I just jumped right in and just started talking. Hey, Kevin, yeah, that happens. A lot of times we and I've been thinking about this. I mean, I've been thinking about a lot of stuff. But yeah, I think a friend of mine was telling me the other day, she's like, a lot of times we think we have a ceiling in life. And we have the ideal of like, this is as high as I can go. And these are the only things that are like meant for me. And I've noticed this in my life. Like, there's definitely like a level of like prosperity that I'll notice myself get to it. And then I'll always, like you said, like self sabotage. And then I'll have to like, so like, I'm good with like from here to here. I got it. I know it. You can't stop me. But when I get here, there's like a part of me that's like, oh, Tim, that's as high as you can go. And I'll always F it up so I can go back down. You know? It's like I don't mind the climb. I know I can climb. It's just I have to break that ceiling and to climb to the heights I'm getting to. And we're doing that, starting on this new prosperity project. Stay tuned. But we're gonna break that ceiling and go high, high. But I noticed that, like just looking back on my life, I'm like, wait a second. I keep getting to a certain level and then I drop myself back down. Go up, drop myself back down. Because there's something there that's like in my mind. I'm like self-sabotaging and rejecting because I don't think I deserve or think I can do better. But like, nah, bro, we gotta just keep pushing. There's no ceiling. There's no rules. There's nothing. Hey, laugh lines and life lessons. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad. Always good to hear from you. Always good to hear from you. Said I love you and your wisdom. You make a difference. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. Always good to hear from you. Always good to see you. Thank you so much. We be trying to, you know, there's always work to be done. There's always work to be done. I think especially in these is one of them times where I think a lot of people getting down, and not saying not for good reason. But I think it's one of those times we got to try even harder to stay up. So and Praveen coming through. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad. Thank you, Praveen. Said hope you had a great weekend, Tim. Good to see you. Yeah, I had a good weekend. I had a good weekend. Yeah, actually, I had a really good weekend. So thank you, Praveen. It's always good to see you too. And I appreciate the continued support. Thank you. Hopefully, you had a good weekend, having a good week down there at the Weekmans. You know. Kyle, I like that. Kyle said, if I catch myself saying I'm worried, I use the word concerned instead. Concern implies empowerment. Worried seems more like victimized. I like that. I like that. And once again, it's little tweaks like that. Words are very powerful. So, like one word can make you feel a certain way. Another word, same situation, but not the same feeling. You don't look at it the same. So, just a little concerned. And notice you say that a lot. A little concerned. Worries, man. I'm worried. I'm worried sick. No one ever says I'm concerned sick. Right? Right? People like, I'm worried sick, bro. I don't people, yeah, a little concerned, maybe, a little concern, it's different. I like that. I like that. Thank you for back 40. Thank you. Anon LOL says, Tim, you have no idea how clutch you came in this time. I was just anxious about something pretty scary. I shouldn't have threw my hands up like that before I read the rest of the comment because I feel bad. I'm like, something pretty scary. Yes. No, but I'm glad the stream could be helpful. It's for the moments like that. And like I said, this, I use this a lot because we all got stuff we don't like to think about, stuff that scares us. But yeah, the ideal of like, it could happen. And when it does, I'll deal with it. A lot better, I feel like, than just that. And then also too, that yeah, like, okay, is there any action I can take? What can I do to like do something positive in the situation as opposed to just worrying about it? Because that's just spinning the wheels. Just spinning the wheels. So hang in there, Anon. Prayers. Hopefully, that situation turns out to not be as scary as it's presenting. Hopefully. Yeah, that's a good one, traveler. Yeah, like we fly, we drive all the time, and we all know the numbers on accidents, things of that nature. Uh, we drive all the time. Don't think nothing of it. Hop in a car, go down to the store, no problem. We'll be in a car, see an accident, keep driving. Still not worried. But the thought of flying, ugh, when it's way safer to fly. But like you said, when you're flying more, you get that same attitude about flying. I'm not the slightest bit scared of flying. I used to, like, before I did, I was, but then sometimes I get tired of flying. I'm like, bro, I just TSA and turbulence, which is not turbulence anymore. It's rough air, at least on Delta. But sometimes I get tired of flying, but no fear of flying. You just do it enough, like and there's no need to worry about either one. Like if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. J Spec, I agree. Doom and gloom is how you can. It's control. It's control. I totally agree. It's control. You like the song "Climb Every Mountain" for me? All right, that's a good song. That's a classic. That's a classic. We used to watch Sound of Music every Friday when I was in kindergarten. Every Friday, and we looked forward to it every Friday. This was the '80s, kids. You didn't have streaming services. If you didn't have the VHS tape at the house, you couldn't watch it. So it was a big deal to watch the same movie every Friday. Alvin Anthony, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad. Today, Tim, have you done any volunteer work or plan to do volunteer work in the future? I have not done any volunteer work. I did some last summer. So I was the employee shuttle driver at my seasonal job, and so one of the things we did was we took people down to volunteer. It was a Native American charity, and so we went down into Denver, and we would box up like food to take to people who couldn't get out the house. So, and since I was the driver, I would help out. And then there was a couple times like nobody signed up. So the people in my department, the staff activities, we were the only ones who went. But it was really cool. I enjoyed doing that. So I would like to do more volunteer work like that. Yes, it felt really good. Even though I mean I was volunteering, but I was also getting paid. So, but it was volunteer work technically. But I would love to do it, off the clock. But thank you, Alvin. Appreciate the love. How about you? You listen to the story of a Japanese man who tried office work, couldn't handle it, went to school to become an occupational therapist, did it for a year, then quit to become a lumberjack. Okay, is that like a true story, or is that like a Aesop's fable? Is there something? is, is this that one of like those once upon a time there was a man in Tokyo, or is that like a real story? Like this happened in like 2010. Like it's a good story. Hey, Ghost Films, thank you, thank you. Kevin, you feeling lost? Sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear. That's why we're here. Hey, even if you're feeling lost, you're never alone. We here. We here. What up, Mitchell? I don't know what that says, but respect, encouragement every day. How you doing? Love the name. It'll come when it comes, Lee. You know me. Do I ever rethink about having kids? No, no, no. Nah. Like that. That's it. It's not a spur of the moment wishy washy thing with me. Like I just don't want kids. It it's interesting to me that I get asked that so much. So I'm trying to figure out, do a lot of people go back and forth about it? No, because I can only see it my way. Like every time I see people with kids, I'm like, why would you do that to yourself? You know what I mean? It's because I have no desire to have kids. But I'm wondering, I'm like, are there some people who I know there's some people who just know, like they want to have kids. And they're very happy when they have kids. I was telling a friend of mine just the other day, I was like, this whole motherhood wife thing looks great on you. Like this is you. Like it's working for you. Like this is you. I can tell. Just heard of like, you know. So I know there's some people who like that stuff is them. But I'm like, are there a lot of people who go back and forth? And maybe that's why they ask me a lot. Or maybe it's just people who can't understand not having kids. But I always wonder why I get asked that so much. Cause like to me, it's like I would never ask someone that. Cause I'm like, yeah, someone don't want kids, they don't want kids. But people are like, you ever reconsider? I'm always like, why? Like, what could suddenly happen to make me be like, dang, I do want to spend 18 years raising these bad kids? Or my kids would be good. But my kids would be quiet, weird kids, I'm telling you. But not no, I never it don't even only time I think about having kids, I feel blessed I don't have any. That's the feeling. I'm like, thank you. That's why I don't be out on the streets like that. I'm like, I didn't make it 45 years child free to mess up at like 44, 45. So no. What up, AJ? Mitchell, oh, you still been studying Japanese? Psych to chaos. Let's go. Let's go. 6 months over in a couple weeks. Yes. Yeah, you killing life right now, Mitchell. Congratulations. Free will needs to be respected. It needs to be used. It needs to be used. Like we have free will and then we use about 10% of it. You know what I mean? We got free will and we acting like we got to pay for it out here. We don't use it. Praveen, thank you, thank you, thank you. Praveen coming through again. Thank you so much. I said had an excellent 3 days. Oh, you off work? Okay. Okay, I ain't mad at that. A little pre-Memorial Day time off. I ain't mad at that. Thank you, Praveen, for the continued support, my brother. Thank you. Thank you. Brandon, thank you. Said love your channel. I appreciate that. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going. We don't have much else going on. If I'm being honest, it's all we got. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. Thank you, Brandon. TT, how you doing? Yeah, Kevin, and like I said, there's so much negative that comes with worry. Like you said, it can be crippling, it can be paralyzing, and it doesn't help. We're just crippling and paralyzing ourselves for no reason. And so I firmly believe that, like, and I've seen it in my own life, like we can reverse that. We might be like, yeah, I've spent my whole life worrying, but like today can be the day we start saying, I'm not going to worry as much. and it might be slow, as most things are in life, and it might take time. But like if you stick with that, you can look up 6 months from now and be like, dang, like I ain't had like a panic attack or one of those crippling bouts of worry in like 6 months, bro. Like, it's possible. I think the people we look at who don't worry, a lot of them didn't start that way. Some people did. I think some people just innately, yeah. Or maybe they were raised in like a worry-free environment. But a lot of people who were just like, they didn't start out that way. They cultivated that. And yeah, to your point, Angel, times like these when everyone's anxious, it's easier to be anxious because it seems normal. And I think it falls to those of us who have made it kind of part of our life's work to try to combat stuff like that, to stand up like, hey, it's not totally about what happens around us or happens to us. We still have some power. I can still be living in anxious times and not be super anxious, right? For example, prices are high, understandable. People worried, especially you got kids, family, responsibility, parents you taking care of, whatever. But I can tell you what's probably going to happen. Prices will be high, and then like one day they'll come down. We will be talking about deflationary issues one day in the future. Doesn't seem like it now. The issue now is inflation. One day they'll be like, "Oh, this deflation is prices are dropping so quickly." This is life cycles, right? So I try to think on stuff like that. It's like, yeah, it sucks when I go down there to the store and I spend $50 for 2 bags of groceries and a bottle of water. That was partially on me because I wasn't looking at the prices. But it sucks. And you there is a level of kind of fear and even some worry in there, some anxiety. But we can think on things like, okay, this is temporary. Watch the day come when prices stabilize and maybe even go down. We can be worried about prices being too low 3 years from now, right? And just like it's things like that I like to think on instead of just sitting there worrying, because you can't worry prices down. Worrying about how you're going to afford groceries next week don't make you have grocery money. A genie don't, but the worry genie don't pop up and be like, "Here's grocery money, Sarah." You know what I mean? Like it. But if we say, okay, a little scared about, how we gonna get groceries next week, what's something I can do? What's some action I can take to maybe bring in some coins? Maybe clip some coupon. You know what I mean? Like that's the goal is to like, yes, you can identify what's going on in the world. Even though I get accused of being unrealistic and burying my head in the sand constantly, like you know what's going on in the world. But it's just like the sitting around and just worrying about it and just becoming more anxious about it and just having these anxiety filled conversations like everybody else is having never changes anything. It's like, why not? Instead of worrying, let's work. All y'all be worried and anxious over there. I'm finna get to it. I'm gonna figure this out. I'm gonna do the best I can. I'm gonna pray. Whatever happened to prayer, faith? You know what I mean? Like I firmly believe there's a higher power out there who ain't worried about inflation. That's not where God draws the line. Hey, I got you. I'm gonna take care of you. All these scriptures, Jesus talked about it. All the prophets talked about it. But inflation, we don't, we can't. My hands are tied. I created the heavens and the earth 7 days. Inflation, I got nothing. Okay. Anyway, I'm getting silly. Hey, forwarding all calls. Forwarding all calls to. It's not letting me see what the last part of your username is there. I'm sure I'll see it later. Forwarding. Thank you. Super chat squad for that hefty super chat. Thank you. It says it's probably because you're such a great guy. Thank you. It's a lot of people that ask the same. Like you would, make a great mom, and I'm like, I could get the worst case scenario pass. Oh yeah, about the kid thing. Yeah. Thank you. And I have had people say that. I think you make a great dad, and I appreciate that. Like you said, people said you'd be a good mom, but yeah, it's like it. I could be good at something, but that doesn't mean I want to do it. I might be a great correctional officer, but I don't want to work at a prison. You know what I mean? Like that's what I look at the kids. Like maybe I could be a decent father. I would try. Like there were times in the past where I thought I was going to be a father. When I was like in my 20s, um, and it wasn't true. It wasn't my kid, or the women were just lying. And I had kind of resolved myself to like, hey, I'm gonna do whatever I have to do to be a good father. Um, did not turn out to be the case that I was one, but I would try. But that doesn't mean I want to. There's lots of things that if I was put in that situation, I'd try to do well at. Maybe I would, but I don't want to do it. So I get it. Yeah, and what? Yeah, what if you? Yeah, what if you got them bad kids, bro? What if you got them like the rest of my life? This is what I gotta. Nah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Forwarding. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm glad about the only one because I get that comment. Forwarding all calls to VM. Okay. Yeah. 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 Um, yeah. That I get that comment a lot too. I'm like, I mean, shout out to the good moms and dads out there, and shout out to the moms and dads who trying. You know what I mean? Thank you again, Super Cat Squad. Thank you forwarding. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Oh, see, we're not doing this. See, this is no, every time I'm my new thing. Whenever there's negative comments or doom and gloomy comments or fear, I just realize there's more work to be done. There's just more work to be done, right? All of us over time, we're getting better about the fear and the anxiety and all that. Like, there's some people, that, hey, there's more work to be done. Yeah, no, that's how we look at it now. Laura says, I'm scared to go traveling because they might hassle me when I come back to the US. Don't want to get detained or sent to El Salvador. Um, I'll say this, Laura. I came back from Thailand last week. I'm a little mad the immigration wasn't harder. It was a little too easy. I'm not gonna hold you. I thought we was gonna have to prove citizenship up in here. No. I walked to the thing. There's a guard standing there. You walk up, it takes your picture. It said in 3 seconds, it said less, it was like 2 seconds. It said verified. He looked at my passport and he was like, oh, where are you coming from? And I said, Thailand. He said, where'd you go? And I said, Pattaya in Bangkok. And he was like, well, he asked me one other question. I forget what it was. They always ask you some weird question, some little whatever question. How was it? I was like, hot. He's all right, Mr. Ward. See you later. I said, where's the border patrol? Where's the white glove? I'm with the full treatment. They didn't even check my luggage. Like, so once again, I understand that because I was having a conversation about that recently. I understand that there's a lot of fear about that type of stuff going on. But as someone who literally just came back in the country, I saw none of that. I saw none of that. It was very simple. I'm like, that's it. Like, I'm back. Okay, So but once again, that's one of those situations where sitting at home, yeah, you can't. The only way to overcome that is to take a trip. And here's the thing: are you a U.S. citizen? Yes, you should have no problem coming back into the United States. Is there a possibility that possibly, for some reason, somebody wants to pick a random person coming back from Spain and send them to El Salvador? Possibility, yes. The chances of that happening to you, 5 years from now, and when no one's talking about it on TikTok and it's not all over the news, yeah, yeah, I don't know. But I understand. I understand. Once again, this is why I don't take in consume certain type of content because it makes you fearful when sometimes maybe we don't need to be fearful. Hey, DJ, thank you. Glad it's helping. Rebel, I'm back. I'm back home. I'm back home. Well, I guess I already just said it. Okay. Yeah, it's not for everybody. I mean, it's not for everybody. Angela, you decided it now, Angela? No kids, firmly. Welcome to the club, the no kids club, the NKC. I like that, the NKC. Uh, Native, I feel blessed to have the health I have. Um, I could do more to be healthier, and that's a road I really want to start traveling down, like in earnest. Especially now that I'm on this prosperity thing. Part of it is like I got to do my part. So I can't be like, oh, I'm gonna get, I want to bring even more abundance and prosperity in my life, and I'm not taking care of my health as much as I could. So I do. One thing I really want to work on is like stretching and like movements. There's this lady I watch on YouTube. She's from Kazakhstan, and it's called The Way We Move or something. But I've been watching her videos and like really, I was like, I got to start moving better. Um, but and eating healthier. Checkups, I'm not. That ain't me. I made a pact with my body that like if I don't take it down there and have it poked and prodded, it won't give me a reason to have to go down there and get poked and prodded. So I'm kind of old school with that. Our ancestors went to the doctor when they were sick. This going to the doctor before you sick seems a little manifestational to me. We'll say that. So I don't be getting the checkups. Like if I start feeling like I need to go to the doctor, I'll go. Short of that, if I'm feeling good, I don't go to the doctor. You know. Anyway, but yeah, I do want to focus more on that. Oh, I got to jump down real quick. Hey, we got Alfonso coming through with the generosity, the abundance. Speaking of prosperity, speaking of abundance, thank you, thank you, thank you. Alfonso Petty Jr., thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me give you a like on that. So, more work to be done indeed. God has got us with his abundant love and wisdom. Talk, prayer, abundant mindset. Thank you, God. Praise him. Hey, I firmly believe in a higher power, Alfonso, that wants us to have an abundant life, that wants us to have a prosperous life. That like God don't want you to be poor. You know what I mean? God don't want you to be broke, right? Like God wants like all the tools that are out here to make us have like an enjoyable life. The person who created us and is like our father, would obviously want us to have all that. I mean, just thinking about we were talking about earlier about having kids and being good parents. Like, if there's any way that like anything or any way that could bring a benefit to your child's life, you want that for them. So it's just weird. There's a lot of poverty talk when it comes to God and religion that I'll admit I used to fall for, because it's kind of what you were taught growing up. But I'm like, wait a second, why wouldn't God want me to do well in all aspects of my life? Why would God want me to struggle financially? Like, or you know what I mean? Like, yes, I firmly agree with you on that. And there's more work to be done. Once again, like, that's another area. We got to talk to the people, let them know, like, God is about abundance. You know what I mean? He's not about lack, not about scarcity. It don't make you a better whatever religion you are for because you have less. You know what I mean? I don't have a better relationship with God because I'm a minimalist. I'm a minimalist because like that's just the right amount of possessions for me, you know. But if there's someone who having more is the right amount of possessions for them, that don't change our relationship with the divine. Anyway, I'm getting on the weeds. But thank you, Alfonso. I appreciate the love. Thank you. Let's talk. Let's go. Let's go. They weren't ready for that. They weren't ready for that. Okay. Thank you, Alfonso. Where are we at in the chat? Okay. Um, Jojo, every time, respectfully, you said prices aren't coming down. Every time prices go up, they say this. One of the things that I'm blessed to finally have been getting a little age on me is you start to see the cycles. So I promise you, there have been other times in history with worse inflation, and people were like, "It's over. Prices are never coming down." And then you fast forward 10 years, and it's like prices are dropping too quickly. Trust me on this one. Trust me on this one. Oh, don't worry. I'm gonna remember. I'm gonna remember. Oh, Alvin, you did volunteer work teaching first grade children 1 year? Ooh, that sounds like a respect, props. That sounds like a hard one. Lee, I deleted my DoorDash. So I still do Uber because, since I don't have a car, sometimes I take Uber to get certain places, but like mainly I walk, take the bus. But I deleted my DoorDash. So yeah, yeah. I mean, and that's a big part of it, like being at peace. Like, so maybe I thought I wanted kids, didn't happen. Just the being at peace. And that's why I don't like when people have rude stuff to say about child free people, because I'm like, I don't mind if you say it to me because I'm child free by choice. But you gotta understand that there's people who wanted kids and maybe it just didn't happen. Um, and if when you say stuff like, "Oh, then your life is pointless, your life is wasted," like how does that make them feel? You know, when they might have somehow had those thoughts in the back of their mind anyway. So that's why I don't like. I'm like, bro, like stop. Like just because you was blessed to have kids, don't be out here jumping on people who don't because you don't know anybody's situation. We got some more love coming through already. Wow, I'm telling you, this abundance, man. Kevin, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Super chat squad. Kevin come through with the Zen Fox. And I appreciate you still showing love, Kevin, even though, like you said, you're going through some things to continue support. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. And hang in there. Prayers for you too as well. And when I say prayers, like I literally when the stream's over, I stop, say the prayer. So um, you know, I'm not good enough to do it while I'm streaming, but I do it, afterwards. And Praveen coming through again. Praveen showing love. Super chat train. Thank you, Praveen. Super chat squad. Super chat train. Say God in the universe saved my parents multiple times. Talk, which I'm extremely grateful for. Facts. Like when you see it, you see it. Thank you for that snipe, Angela. When you see it, you see it. And I'm a firm believer that the more you see abundance and the more you acknowledge abundance, like the more it seems to happen. The more abundant your life seems to get when you're grateful for the abundance and you acknowledge the abundance, it seems like you're always acknowledging it. It's just popping up everywhere. You're like, where did all this abundance come from, bro? Like it's everywhere now. And that's why I talk about it because when everyone else is talking about, the high prices or the crime or the this or the that or the that, I'm like, but it's still abundant out here. And the more I focus on that, the more I seem to see it and the less I get scared and worry about the other stuff. Big part of life is where you focus your attention. I don't know how it works this way. I wasn't giving a memo, a white paper, anything on it. I don't know why the universe is this way, but I promise you, and y'all know. But if you're new to the community, a little skeptical, I promise you, focusing on positive, focusing on abundance, focusing on like gratitude, you will start to see way more of that in your life, and it will just seem like almost like magically if you stop focusing on this other stuff as much, that stuff seems to just kind of like go to the background. And you'd be like, a couple months ago, I was shook. It was all, now I don't even, people be wanting to talk about all the, you like, bro, I don't know. So much stuff that people want to, I'm like, that don't even happen in my reality, bro. Like, I don't know. Could it happen? Sure. I don't think about it because like it ain't like I don't think about it. If you don't think about it, you don't think about it. Think about it. If you don't think about it, you don't think about it. So I'm like, stop engaging with stuff that makes you think about all this fearful, crazy stuff. It's gonna be okay. It'll be okay. Prices will come down. Oh, I can't wait for that one. I can't wait for that now. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. Praveen said, my hairstylist. Ain't nobody broke around here. Ain't nobody broke around here. Praveen said, my hairstylist, not my barber. My hairstylist. Ain't nobody broke around here. The abundance. My hairstylist actually asked me why I don't have kids at my age. I just smile and said I'm happy with my life right now. Facts. Facts. Yeah, man. But it'd be crazy if you'd have been like, why do you have kids? next time, next time, next time somebody be like, why don't you have kids? Be like, why do you have them? No, I'm joking. I'm joking. That'd be petty. That'd be petty. That'd be petty. Jay said I can afford to eat healthy or rarely. I feel you on that, Jay. But my new thing is this: I'm gonna figure out how to eat healthy. That's my new thing. Um, they not gonna be able to stop me. Like my new thing, like I'm definitely not gonna stop myself. Right? They can do what they want with the prices like food, but I'm not gonna stop myself. I'm not gonna speak it. I'm just gonna be like, I'm gonna figure out how to eat healthy. Do I know how? No. Right? But like I want to eat healthier. I'm gonna figure out how to do it. That's where I'm at with it. I'm just refusing to speak self-defeating, like what I consider kind of negative stuff, even though it seems true or it might be true at the moment. I mean, worst case scenario, I spend the next 40 years trying to figure out how to eat healthy and never do. Still not a wasted 40 years. You know what I mean? But like, as opposed to just giving up, which is what I've been doing previously. It's like, no, I gotta figure it out. So that's what I'm trying to do. That's what we trying to get to. Hey, Healthy? I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. Go live, please. If I had inspired you, yeah, go live. I'm telling you, it's a vibe. It's a vibe, and I think it's a great way to combat all the AI content creators that are coming along. They can't go live kind of like this yet, but yeah, go live. Tell you, it's a vibe. Oh boy, Jay, boy, you on a roll. So AI replacing a lot of jobs, yeah, but there'll be new jobs. There'll be new jobs. You know how many people worked in agriculture, picking fruit, picking crops and stuff when the tractor came along? New jobs. We'll figure it out. And I know people are like easier said than done, but like we're both saying something, right? It's funny, like when people say like negative stuff, no one ever says easier said than done. But when you say something positive, we're both just saying something. I prefer to say the things that like are positive, that keep me from worrying, keep me from getting as nervous. Like we'll figure like humans, we adapt all throughout history. Humans have sat around and worried about stuff and we adapted. I promise you, in World War I, they thought the world was over. Machine guns, tanks, they thought it was over. Bombs, it was over. We can't go on living with these killing machines. We adapted. Now we have bombs that could kill us all 100 times over, and we just never use them. They just sit. That's a good example. Actually, remember when we was kids, we were petrified of nuclear war. Nobody cares about it now. When was the last time you worried about nukes? When we was kids, 80s, ooh, petrified. We used to have drills where you would like get under your desk because we were scared the Russians were going to drop the bomb on us. This is true, kids. Now, I know what you're thinking. Young people, I know what you're thinking. If someone drops a nuclear bomb, how does getting under your desk stop that? It doesn't. But when you're 7, that's all they got for you. When you're 7, they can't tell you. Yeah, if they drop the bomb, we're all gone, vaporized. So they just told you, hey, if there's an explosion, get under your desk. Nobody worries about that now. We adapted, we figured it out. All this stuff we're worried about now. And then we'll look back and be like, we were so naive, bro. Someone will be having this conversation about AI. Like, oh, remember when AI first came out, how scared we were they were going to take all the jobs? And we'll be like, how stupid is that? AI can't take all the jobs. That's not what it's here for. Okay. That's what we do. That's what we do. You know, you know. What's for dinner tonight, Starfish? I got some bourbon chicken and noodles. Yeah. That's abundance shocked you? Somebody left protein bars in the break room? Okay. I mean, it's just take what you want in the break room. It's just if you leave it in the break room, you lose it. Respect. Oh yeah, Angela answered. Yeah, snipers when Angela blocked somebody. I didn't even see that one. Though that the username made me think that might have been a fun. I didn't even see that one. I'm like, dang, what they say? That look might have been a fun one. Two blades, exactly. Um, and life's what you make it. That statement right there, and we hear people say it all the time, but we don't really. We just whatever. But that statement right there, one of the most powerful things in your life, if you take it to heart and realize, like, oh, I can make my life what I want it to be, and B, like, it will become that. No more cheap poison slim tonight. Facts. Rick said baking veggies with lots of olive oil and seasoning, combining it with meat is how I eat healthy now. Okay, okay. A lot of olive oil. Okay. I'm taking notes. I'm taking note, Rick. I'm taking notes. We're glad you're part of it too, Kevin. Like for real. Yeah, and same, man. Like I feel truly blessed. To have y'all, my YouTube friends and family, this community, like for real. Like y'all don't know. Y'all don't know. Did I live stream last weekend, Praveen? I couldn't tell you, Praveen. The days all run together. I couldn't tell you. Maybe. Okay, okay. Jojo. I appreciate the perspective, but I think we're just getting a little too negative. Um, Respectfully. Vanessa, and for anybody else who came in, there wasn't anything specific I was scared about. We were just talking about in general. There's always things all of us can be scared about, but it doesn't mean we have to be worried about it. So yeah, that was the thing. It's just like, I mean, there's always stuff to be scared of. There's always things that we can realize, hey, if this happens, it might cause me harm or harm to one of my loved ones or whatever, impact my life negatively. But like accepting that isn't the same as like worrying about it. And it's scary. That initial fear is kind of like, no, but it's the worry that causes the anxiety and the stress and the strokes and all that constant worry. So that we were talking about for like the first 30 minutes or so. Just that ideal of like, you could be afraid, but you don't have to worry. Um, but I appreciate the prayers. And please, I'll take the prayers. I'll take the prayers. There'll be lots of stuff that, I'm like, yeah, that could get sticky. But we just keep going. It wasn't a fun block. Oh, okay, Angela, thanks, thanks. Dang it. See, I told you. I don't get the good. I don't get the yeah. TL, I would recommend visiting Thailand. A, because it's inexpensive. And it's a different culture, and you know, I would pretty much like I've only been to 3 countries, and I would recommend going to all of them just because like it's something new, it's something different. And I didn't have any bad experiences. But I think yeah, if you've never left the U.S., here's my thing. And instead of me recommending a country, I would say, what's a country you've always wanted to visit and go there. You know. Now, if you don't have one, yeah, maybe Thailand is definitely an option. Um, but yeah, I mean, I would just I think it's more important to be like, hey, where's a country I really want to visit? Where's a culture I really would like to see and interact with? What's some local foods I really want to get down on, nosh down on. But yeah, Thailand was a vibe. Thailand was a vibe. I got no. It was very hot and humid, but other than that, like it was a vibe. Yeah, the days run together. Yeah, yeah. Especially like when you're not working. Like there's not a frame of reference. Like when you're working, okay, I worked Monday through Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You get kind of like when you're not working, like there's very little, like nothing changes based on the day. You know what I mean? So like when I think back to last week, how do I remember what day was what? That's what I'm like. What'd you do last Tuesday? I'm like, I don't even know what last Tuesday was, bro. Like, unless I did something special. Um, Actually, I think last Tuesday I was traveling back home, but yeah, other than that, it's hard to remember past a couple days back. Had a little fear had a little fear yesterday for you. Can't worry about it. Let's go. How do I define my boundaries? Um, I think boundaries are kind of one of those things that, like, when someone starts to encroach upon it, you realize it. I don't know if I could sit around and just be like, "This is how I define my boundaries." I think you know when someone's getting close to crossing one, and then you got to kind of let them know that that's a boundary. Does that make sense? Right. I was not worried about any diseases in Thailand. I've been there 3 times and I've been fine. So yeah, yeah, not. And once again, I don't. Before you go to a country, just like do your research on that type of stuff, and like there are innumerable people. Thailand, I think, is like the most visited country, or Bangkok's the most visited city, something like that. So many people go to Thailand a year and don't catch hepatitis or nothing like that. So a lot of the fears that come from travel are just stuff people say. Like if 1,000 people go somewhere and one person something happens, suddenly that's don't go there at all. You know what I mean? So like I don't be worried. Like and once again, it's kind of one of those things of like, I mean, you can get hepatitis at the house. You know what I mean? Honestly, I felt safer when I was in Thailand. I kept having to remind myself it's not as violent a country as the United States, which is a good feeling. Till I came back home. Like, oh, we back. But you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of positives, especially like come from America. There's a lots of things when you go to other countries you don't have to worry about as much. Like when I was leaving, my belongings in my hotel room, I'm like, oh, or my Airbnb, I'm like, you get all, and I'm like, wait a second, they more likely to come up in here and steal my stuff back home. What am I? Which, like I said, once again, now I'm back home. I'm like, ugh. But you know what I mean? So it's just a lot of times we worry more out the country when in a lot of cases the place we're going to has less of the stuff we're worried about than the country we're coming from. So no, I wasn't going to run it. Oh, I see you. I see you. Encouragement, tunnel vision with a lantern in my left. Let's go. Focus on my vision on a tiny home lot as investment properties gives me peace and feels right. 6 months in the U.S., 6 months traveling. Let's go. Let's go. I like that. Not just a tiny home lot. Investment properties have a whole situation. I like that. When you get that going, let us know. We'll come through. We'll come through. Yeah, life can be a beautiful thing. Especially when we focus on the beauty and go after the beauty. One of my mottos is, I'm gonna live the rest of my life surrounded by beauty, beautiful environments, beautiful people, beautiful energy. I say that constantly, and it comes true. Because part of it is if I find myself in a situation that doesn't fit that bill, it can't work. Because I'm like, Tim, you told yourself you're going to be surrounded by beauty. This ain't beautiful. I know it's not going to work. So like we can like program ourselves, to be like, hey, like this is what I want for my life. And if it's not that or heading in that direction, you're going to tell yourself like this ain't it. But when we don't have that focus, just whatever pops up, you're like, okay. Kevin, I don't really like. It's easy for me to make like new acquaintances, but like new good friends, I don't know. Like, yeah, I meet people. I'm friendly. I can make new acquaintances, but as far as like new, like really good friends, that doesn't happen that much. Just because like I'm very picky about who becomes like a good friend. Um, and I got like the best friends in the world. So I mean, I'm always down to meet a new good friend, but there's no rush. So like I yeah, unless it's just like I know, like oh we're that. I really don't even pursue it, like, because I got the best friends in the world already, so I'm blessed already. So like I'm really not on the hunt to you know, make new friends. But like if it happens, I love it. But it doesn't happen a lot. Jay, like, I did not rent a scooter. No, no, no. They drive them scooters crazy in Thailand. No, I'm good. I'm good. RX, I'm not worried about bad kids. I don't want kids. And one of the reasons I don't want kids is like they could be bad. I don't even want good kids, right? I don't want kids. So even if you could promise me, Tim, you will have the best behaved kids in the world, I don't care. Like I don't want kids. But I just can say like doubly, I don't want bad kids. But I don't even want good kids. I don't want kids. I don't like broccoli. If someone's like, no, but this is the best broccoli in the world, it's still broccoli, bro. Bleh, you know what I mean? So I'm not worried about bad kids. I just don't want kids, good or bad. Monica, you always have a rough reentry, really? Like, oh, what do you mean? Like, in what aspect? What aspect? Praveen, thank you, thank you. Praveen coming through again with the birthday cake, super chat squad. Thank you, Praveen. Thank you, thank you. Sorry it took me a minute to get to that. Thank you, Praveen. That's love. Thank you. Yeah, Kevin. So many people watch those scam videos and like, you know. But here's the thing: if someone like people don't have to travel, so I respect if someone is too nervous to travel. Like I would never convince anyone to travel. If you don't want to, you don't have to. Um, Now, if there's people who really want to, but they're scared, they're kind of fearful, then I'll try to talk to those people and be like, hey, it's kind of that same thing. You can accept there's a possibility that when I go to a new environment, I might get scammed. That doesn't mean it's going to happen. And that doesn't mean you're not smart enough to see it. Or more than likely, if they do scam you, it'll be for a couple dollars. And you'll be like, oh, now I know. Just like you can get scammed in America. Just kind of one of the things I'm like, you know how many scammers go to Atlanta? That's all I'm gonna say. Uh, it's you can go out to eat in Atlanta with a group of friends, and when someone says, "What do you do?" Because people always ask that, and someone's like, "Oh, I'm a scammer." People will be, "Oh, okay." Like it's almost a respected profession down there in Atlanta. So you can get scammed at home. You know what I mean? But yeah, I once again I get it, but that's why I'm like, bro, don't watch all those scam videos, bro. Like, you know, you have a craving for cake for me? Okay, okay, okay. What up, Ricky? If your brain can imagine it, you can make it come. I almost have this ideal of like, there's nothing you can imagine that can't exist. I wonder about that. I'm like, I don't even know if we can imagine beyond reality. Like, you know. Ooh, Layla said they say turn fear into curiosity will build resiliency. Well, I like that. I like that. I like that. TT, and I. Here's the thing. Like, I find what I like to eat and I just eat it. So when I'm in Thailand, I eat a lot of minced pork omelets and rice, and eat a lot of like pork knuckles and rice. So it's not hard at all. Because especially since it's cheap. Thailand's so cheap, it's actually easier for me to eat because like I can eat whatever I want. In America, like you gotta, I only like certain things and like you gotta watch prices. But in Thailand, I can eat whatever I want. It's cheap. So but yeah, I pretty much ate the same thing every day. So it's not hard. I've never been snowboarding, no. Um, I've worked at a ski resort before, so I've seen way too many broken bones, and I'm good. I'm good. The risk reward, you know, percentages isn't enough for me to try it. Oh, we talking about cake now? Okay, cake. Mhm, mhm. Jerry said, I've done a lot more traveling the last few years. Hanging out here was a part of my motivation. Yes. The worst thing consistently by far has been my own anxiety that I brought with me. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Because that's the thing. Like before the trip, there's endless things you can worry about, right? be scared of, worry about, because you just don't know, especially you've never been there. But like once you're there, and you only have to deal with the few things that actually happen. And a lot of times it's nothing bad. I think about this. So like if I'm in downtown Denver or any big city, there's thousands of tourists. I'm not over there trying to like harm them or scam them just because I know they're tourists. That's what the average person is like wherever you go. There's just people living their life. They look up, oh, there's an American. Who cares? The idea that like just because you show up in another country, the whole country is gonna like come at you. But like beforehand, yeah, oh, what if I get scammed? What if I get sick? What if I get that? What if I get that? What if I get that? But yeah, once you get there, you're just like, oh, if something happens, I just have to deal with it. Same as every single day I leave the house. Appreciate that comment. Thank you. I'm a trooper fan. I don't watch no true crime podcast. I don't know. I didn't yeah, no. I don't know. When you see crime, when you actually see crime, yeah, no, I grew up Atlanta. You know what I mean? So for like my teenage years, early 20s. So like I didn't need to watch no true crime podcast. They was killing people at my school. Respect, you know what I mean? So I was like, I don't know, bro. Like I didn't. They was shooting down the street. They shot the sheriff. I heard it. They killed the sheriff, not like a sheriff, the sheriff down the road. Me and my nephew's playing PlayStation. He like, they shooting Uncle Tim. I'm like, it's crazy, bro. Next day, find out they shot the sheriff 2 streets over, bro. I don't need to watch no. I don't need to watch no true. Listen to true crime podcast. But, um, and I just want to say we lived in a good neighborhood too. So I don't want to like we lived in a good neighborhood. Them boys was just rowdy over there. Um, Actually, they did that when I was in my apartments. When I was staying with my parents, we was in a really good neighborhood. When I moved up with my sister, not as good a neighborhood. That's where I was staying when they shot the sheriff 2 streets over. It was still cool. It wasn't too crazy, but it was, um, but yeah, I'm chilling. That was enough. That's why once again, I'm gonna be surrounded by beauty, beautiful environments, beautiful people, beautiful energy. 10 plus years of that was enough. You know what I mean? What about imagining something that involves other people? Do you think we're powerful enough to manifest ideal relationships, or we can only control our own outcomes? I think we can. I don't think you can control like what other people are going to do, but I think you can by manifesting, and by like working on ourselves. I think we can become more attractive to the person we're trying to attract. You know, for example, um, say I'm going to Walmart, right? And there might be some people in there who could be checking for me. But if I go in there busted down, looking rough, looking crazy, I'm less likely to be looked at by those people. But if I go in there shaved up, clean, boom, 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 head up, shoulders back, when I walk past her, she might be like, dang, you know what I mean? So, like, I couldn't have made that person look at me. But by doing what I did, I make that person more likely to look at me. And I think we can do that like on a major scale in life just by like, you know, if I decide, oh, I'm trying to attract this type of person, and then I want this type of relationship with this type of person, and I do all the things I need to do, I can't make that person, show up in my life, but I think I can attract that person, you know. I think if our paths cross, and I'm a big believer in like energies. So like, if I'm putting in the work and I'm trying to manifest that person, and they've been putting in a little work too, maybe over time and space our energies, connect and we're drawn to each other. So I don't think it's a matter of like, oh, I'm gonna make so and so fall in love with me, bidya, 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 bidya. But I think it is just like by me doing or us doing what we need to do, we can be more attractive and attract the person. We're more likely to attract the person we're looking for than if we don't do any work. Jason, I don't really believe in a devil like a lot of people do. I don't think there's some being out there that's the devil that's roaming around attacking people. I think evil is just the absence of good. So I don't get attacked by the devil. Do things happen? You know, are there people in this world who, yeah, maybe don't have as much good in their life as would be beneficial to them, and do they try to do things to me? Possibly, but I don't believe in the concept of like an actual devil. It's like roaming around. So yeah. When did I realize the rat race was not worth participating in? Um, I realized about 11, 12 years ago that I wanted to do something different. You know, yeah, I realized I just wanted something more out of life. So and the rat race becomes the rat race when like work is not working for us. It's not fulfilling. You know, you two people can be doing the exact same thing, and one person it not be the rat race, and the other person it be the rat race. So it becomes the rat race when we're just like doing things over and over again that aren't bringing us fulfillment. And that's why I always say like my life was good. I can't complain, but it just wasn't what I wanted to do. So like yeah, about 12 years ago, 11, 12 years ago, I realized like I just want to do something different. Like I just, you know, I just wasn't it what that if I looked forward 5 years and I was doing the same thing, it would I'm like, bro, like I want to live, So yeah, about 11, 12 years ago. Calm down, TT. He said that's a lot of fun. Honestly, like there was no they say pork knuckles, but there was no bones. Should there have been bones in pork knuckles? I don't know. It said pork knuckles. I don't know. You don't know. Comedy, what up? Bring heading to bed in 5 minutes? Okay, okay. I don't think I've ever had a fight for no reason. I've been in a few fights. During my drinking days, I caused a lot of them. Um, and there were some that like there's a couple times I got into it to people because they might have thought I was doing something. When you in the bar all the time, somebody thinks you looked at their girl, touched their girl, said, what I mean, that type stuff. There was some times where like when I was hanging out at the redneck bar, very rarely there might be like some racially motivated times we had to throw hands or whatever. Which was crazy because like most of my friends was white. So like you, how you gonna get anyway, you gonna get stomped out by your own, you know what I mean? But very, very rarely, those might be the only times I could say I got in a fight for no reason because I didn't do anything. But I'll be honest, most of the time, half the time at least, it was me running my mouth, or I thought somebody had disrespected me or whatever. Kevin, I agree. It's funny to me when like we're so scared to go to other countries, and I'm like, bro, look at the city you live in. It's just that we fear uncertain. We fear like the unknown. So like you might live on the south side of Chicago, but like you know how to move, so you're not that scared. You know when to. But thinking about going to Japan, you might get a little nervous. Like, I don't know, like it's different. So a lot of times the fear is based in our, not knowing or our uncertainties, less than is based in like it actually being a scary place to go. And I'll be honest, this is something that like I have there's a young lady I follow. Her name's Madeline Schroeder. Um, and she's one of my biggest travel inspirations because she's like 27, and she just goes all over the world by herself. She ain't scared. You know what I mean? And I'm like, if Madeline doing it, I can do it. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, when I'm in, when I see other people traveling and they not scared, and they're willing to brave the potential whatever, especially if they're like younger than me, I'm like, bro, tell them, come on now. Maddie out there. You come on, bro. Like, let's go. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, a lot of it's just in our head. Um, and like I say, when you get there, you're like, "Oh, okay. The same way if you end up in a kind of unsafe area, like you know what to do to try to get up out of there. It's the same if you go to another country and like something, you know, you watch your back, you know, it's common sense, street smarts. Like the same way you've navigated your home country is the same way you navigate another country. Might be some differences, but like at the end of the day, winning with Isaac. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad, thank you. Said you motivate me, Tim. Much love, much love. I appreciate you saying that, and we're gonna try to keep motivating. And I appreciate that love. Thank you, thank you. We here. We're in the chat. Yeah, go where you find peace. I be telling people, go where you find peace. Exactly, rebel. You know, you can go 5 hours down the road, be in a totally different city. Doesn't have all the stuff that you don't like about your city. You know, Lakers. This is a good one. Is it bad that I'm catching feelings for a woman I'm seeing who's 41? I'm only 24. It was supposed to be strictly casual between us. No, it's not bad at all. That's what humans do. You meet somebody, you catch feelings. Now, uh, sometimes it's not reciprocated. Sometimes you say, "Oh, it's just gonna be casual," and then you start catch feelings, and then the other person doesn't, and then sometimes it gets a little awkward, or you might get a tiny bit, you know, hurt when it's not reciprocated. But there's nothing wrong with it. That's just life. Or she might catch feelings too when y'all start dating, and it'd be amazing. Like, look, I think we worry way too much about age, bro. Like, this one thing in the past, I think our ancestors figured out that we have some weird stigmas around. But like, bro, like once y'all both grown, what does it matter? Once the age limit has reached that the law don't care no more, why do we care? What's the difference between y'all hanging out, casual, enjoying each other's company, and dating? Like, if y'all just like, what? Yeah, I think we get way too much worked up about the age. Like, and like we get we. I think we overthink and mess up what could just be cool situations. You know, like, hey, met this 41-year-old. I love hanging out with her. I'm kind of catching some feelings. Cool. See where it goes. She might reciprocate, or if not, y'all just keep hanging out. It's actually a very good situation to be in. It's a win. Hey, glad to hear, Kevin. You and the ex still in communication? Cool. Praveen, you said you cried really hard watching a random episode of Touched by an Angel a few days ago. See, there, that's a TV show you couldn't have now. You couldn't have a show called Touched by an Angel. In 2025, canceled. Nope, 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 nope. It'd be a whole different television show. You could have it, but it would be a totally different television show, totally different network. Um, you could do that in the 2001 Touched by an Angel. You, you couldn't. Totally different, totally different show. That might be on the hub in 2025. Okay, where we at? Where we at? Da, 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 da. Oh, winning. Just quit the job. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Congratulations. Glad you got up out of there, winning. Do you have any advice on going on job interviews when self-esteem is shot? Ooh, I don't know, Slim tonight. The only thing I could say was try to get the self-esteem back up. Because that's a hard one. It's hard to go in somewhere and sell yourself if you're not feeling yourself. That's a hard one. Praveen coming through again. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Praveen. He said Tim is amazing. Always motivates me to be positive. That's what we do, Praveen. That's what we do. And you're amazing too. You always coming through, showing love, always contributing to the chat, always encouraging. So thank you, Praveen. Hey, we got Bad Bro. I love the name. Very simple, very basic. Said, bro, Tim, what's up? Hey, how's it going? That's love. Super Chat Squad. I'm good. I'm good. Cannot complain. Hashtag blessed. Good, good, good. How are you? I love the name. That whole comment is just cool. Bad bro said brutta. What's I just love it. I love it. It's very broy. I love it. It's I'll tell you the little things in life. Once you start enjoying life, little things just bring you enjoyment. You can't even explain it. I don't know. I just like the whole setup. But thank you, bad bro. Appreciate the love and the generosity. Thank you. Thank you. The abundance of a financial nature. Struggle. This is live. Yes. I've explained why I applied to a job in 2 states tomorrow. Oh, good luck with the job there, Layla. Winning, some hotels are pricey, some are not. Um, I do a lot more Airbnbs these days because the hosts get to determine the price. I feel like with a lot of hotels, there's factors outside of like a lot of it is like competition, area, stuff like that. Hotels seem to have like a base and they just go up from there or down from there if it's a crappy hotel. Airbnbs, different hosts some hosts just I stayed with the lady in Denver for a month and she was like, yeah, I know I'm cheaper than everybody else because I want to provide a cheap place for people to stay. Super nice lady. Like I'm trying to think. I think she might be my only. No, no, no. There was a bit another one, but one of the only Airbnb hosts that like I hugged when I left. She was just like, "Oh, see you." Like I'll definitely probably one day go visit her again. But yeah, she was like, "I could charge more, but I don't want to." So that's why like I like Airbnbs a lot more because there's the pricing can be a lot different than hotels. But yeah, sometimes hotels are pricey. Sometimes they're not. You can find deals. I recommend like I use booking.com mainly because the more you book, the more kind of rewards you get. I kind of just pick one thing. I use hotels.com sometimes too, but I get a lot of discounts. I'm like I think it's a level 3 genius member, whatever their rewards program is. So there's a lot of deals on there. A lot of breaks I get because I've booked on there so many times. But it's rent is pricey. So and I definitely don't feel like you was being all in my business. No, that's a fair question. Kenneth, okay, keep going, keep going. Week 4, let's go. Testosterone replacement therapy. Nothing dramatic. It can take time. Okay, keep us updated. Keep us updated. You're gonna be like, I'm on week 6 and it's crazy out here. You're like dramatic. We here. Okay. Danny, yeah, YouTube doesn't. It's a thing. The notification, they don't send everybody notifications for every stream. It's something to do with the algorithm. So even if you got the subscribed and the bell, sometimes you just won't get it. So, uh, that kind of sucks for the creator. But I'm just glad they send some notifications. Y'all know. How do you explain applying to 2 jobs 20 hours away from each other? Just say you have you're willing to relocate. So it looked like 2 jobs I was intrigued by. So I would just figured I would apply and see what happens. I'm not the type of person that allows, distance or other things like that to stand in the way of what I think might be a good job opportunity. I was looking for jobs. I try not to pigeonhole myself. So I saw 2 opportunities that seemed to be good and I wanted to apply. Make it a positive. Just make it a positive. Make it a positive. Think about the reasons people wouldn't do that and then say you're not that type of person. I'm not the type of person that is scared of what someone might think if they saw that I applied to 2 different jobs 20 hours away. I don't let things like that limit me. I'm the type of person that like if there's an opportunity, I go for it. I don't care where it's at. And both these jobs look like something I was interested in. And I was curious to at the least, talk with someone, have a conversation about it, see if we can make it work out. I'd still like to interview for both jobs. I'm gonna teach a course. I'm gonna give all this up and teach an interviewing course. Yes. I'm done with this prosperity. I'm gonna sell $1,000 interview course. But they can't with me. Tell you, tell you. Ask me an interview question. Give me about 30 seconds to. especially as a phone interview. Like if it's a face to face or Teams interview, I got to stall while I'm. But you give me a phone interview and you can't see my face while I'm stalling, while I'm thinking. Yeah, even in face to face or Zoom, I'm pretty good at you just selling yourself. Ricky, I think when I first started streaming, you might have about 10, 15 people come through on the live stream. Tuxedo, I'm not in Thailand anymore. I'm back in the States. But yeah, you should definitely go to Thailand. It's a vibe. And I appreciate the love for the channel. Thank you. Thank you. Now, yeah, we don't sugarcoat around here, but we keep it positive. See, you cannot sugarcoat and still be positive. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome, Layla. So I replay that. I'll tell you, you just gotta hit them. You just gotta make it a positive. All the stuff that other people think is negative, you just gotta make it a positive. Interviewer gonna be like, "Dang, you're right. I would have never applied for that, but she's a go getter." You know. Trucker heading toward Denver. Cool, 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 cool. Yeah, I saw some talking here about jobs that pay a livable wage, things of that nature, becoming harder to find, possibly. Uh, I'm a big believer in like you only need one job or two if you're trying to do a part time something. You know what I mean? So like I think about that a lot. It's like I just need one. You know, there's no good women anymore, which I disagree with. There's no good men anymore. I just need one. I don't need the job market to be good. I don't need there to be a ton of jobs in my city. I just need one. I don't have to worry about the overall market or what. I just need one. Once again, I don't think that's beyond the universe's capability of abundance to come up with one. I don't need 13 jobs. I just need one. Maybe a little side hustle. I don't think that's where the universe stops. Hey, in 2025, Tim, I can't come up with one job. If you needed half a job, I got you. I can't come up with one good paying job for you in 20. I can't. That's it. That's it. That's it. I make the sun rise and set every single, all the other stuff I got, but I can't come up with one job. All you need is one, bro. All you need is one. Like and that never like it does like there. That's what I'm saying. Like we spend a lot of time worrying about the job market and the state of blah blah blah. But no matter what, if it's a good job market or a bad job market, you just need one job. That will never change. So why go around like worrying about the job market? You just need one job. That will never change. Now, if the job market is great, you may have more of a pick. But still, you're only going to pick one. You know what I mean? So like, it doesn't like it doesn't matter. Like if you get 10 offers or one, you just need one. But like we get ourselves all worked up and worried because we think the job market is bad. But it's like it doesn't matter. You just need one. Yeah, respectfully. Hey, trucker, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Super chat squad, thank you, trucker, thank you. And I haven't been saying where I'm at just for whatever reason. So you asked earlier, but I'll you know me when it's time to, it's time to. So, but thank you, trucker. I appreciate that love. Thank you. Have fun down there. And we said you going to Denver. Yeah, Denver's a vibe, man. I like Denver. And we got Davier, the Lamio. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad. Hopefully you pronounced that right. Thank you so much, Super Chat Squad. Super Chat Train. Said 20 years old, going to Yellowstone for seasonal work. Go. I love it. I love it. Mental health is more important to me than working a high-paying job that purposely works you to an early grave. Thank you. Thank you. I'm trying to put your like on this. Okay, cool. And that is awesome that I'm just gonna say D because I think I probably pronounced your name wrong, and I apologize. It's awesome that at such a young age, at 20, you got that. And those are lessons that if you learn that young, early in life, I should say, the next 80 years of your life, because these days people living to be 100 plus, you'll take that with you. If this summer, summer 2025, you learned and you're already seeing that, but like once you go to Yellowstone and you enjoy the summer and it's something like, it really will bring it home. And at 20 that like, nah, no, I'm not going to kill myself for money. I'll find ways to make money, that don't mess with my mental health, you know, and I'm not afraid to go do something different, just to, keep my mental health in check and enjoy my life. You get that at 20, they can't do nothing with you rest of your life because you'll know. A lot of people have to wait. I had to wait till like 35. Other people wait till 40, 50. You got it at 20. So shout out to you. I appreciate the love. Hope you have a good summer. Keep us updated. Keep us updated. I know you can be too busy doing stuff to be, probably checking in on the interwebs a lot, but hey, keep us updated and have fun. And I appreciate that love. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We here. We here. Y'all, that's what I'm talking about, man. Let's go. Ricky said, I need 11 wives. That's not too much to ask for. I can handle it. Okay. All right. Careful what you ask for. Careful what you ask for. Yeah, well, okay. Ricky gonna come to the chat one day like, man, I got 2 of them on me and I can't deal with it. 2 of them on me, I can't deal with it. Mariposa said, do you believe in spanking? We're not gonna touch that. We're not gonna touch that. Depending on no form of spanking is gonna be talked about because it could get sticky either way. Yeah, we just gonna gloss that one over. I don't think it's expensive everywhere. Well, I'll say this, Slim tonight. Prices may be higher than they previously were, but there's still places that like are cheaper. Now once again, I keep saying, wait until the day rolls around when like we're like, man, prices are dropping like crazy. What's happening? We'll be worried about prices dropping in the future. Thing to think about. Yeah, Angela. As soon as I wasn't even trying to make that joke. As soon as I said it, I was like, oh, that could be. I mean, if you do it right, or is that doing it wrong? I don't know. Been a while since I was spanked. Okay, stop. I said I wasn't gonna talk about it. I said I wasn't gonna talk about it. Angela got me talking about it. You gotta watch Angela. She's almost worse than me. Hey, Nick, checking in. Hope you had a beautiful day too. Thank you for coming by. Yeah, I did start it. I started it because I shouldn't have read the comment at all. But come on, you know me. I'm a child. Mariposa, we're not going there. I figured that's what you're talking about, but even that is too controversial a topic. So, as someone who doesn't have kids, I feel like it's too controversial a topic for me to talk about when I have no skin in the game. Like why would I even alienate people to talk about something that's never gonna matter to me in my life? So, yeah. I've learned that some topics you're better off just letting go. Hey, Tuxedo, yeah. So I moved from Halifax, Nova Scotia to Edmonton, Alberta for cheaper living. Only way to buy a house in Canada. Sometimes you got to move where life is affordable. I agree with that. Like, sometimes you got to make moves and pivot, So if home ownership is something that's very important to you, sometimes we got to make sacrifices, do different things. I don't know, the difference between Halifax and Edmonton, but, so yeah, sometimes we got to, you got to make moves. And here's the thing too. Sometimes when you make moves to like get what you want out of life, it ends up working out better overall. Like sometimes it'll be a sacrifice, but it ends up working out better than if you stayed. That's why I'm always like, if there's things you don't like about your current city, Google or ask ChatGPT, ask Copilot, cities without crime. It's like, what I mean? It's cities where it's easiest to buy a house. Cities like Google it. Just do your research. There's lists for all this stuff. They got bureaus and organizations. They list all this stuff like every couple of years. Lowest cost of living in America. Highest cost of living in America. You might find out you on the highest cost of living city. Like no wonder I'm broke. But ain't nobody broke around here. By the way, that's our new thing. Nobody's broke around here. Ain't no poverty around here. But the reason your coins might be a little lower than you want them to be because you might be living somewhere crazy. You might move to, I don't know, Rhode Island and live like a king. I don't know. I just said something. is it expensive in Rhode Island? Someone will come through and be like, Rhode Island's crazy expensive. Um, Comedy, that's kind of my perspective on death. Like it's inevitable. I'm going to die one day. Something's gonna take me up out of here. Case closed. Like the fact that we spend so much time and like the fact that you would say like we look at it as negative is telling, you know. But like I just don't spend a lot of time. You know, I don't like the ideal of not being able to interact with like family and friends um in this form because this is the only form I remember. But beyond that, like, what do I care? Like, you know, I try to live this life to the fullest. When it's over, I just move on to the next one. Like, and I firmly believe that even though I may not be able to interact with my friends on the same level, I think we'll meet again. You know, because I think a lot of my friends now we've met before. So I think our energies will keep finding each other. So it's not a big like yeah. I don't look forward to like if it's a painful death. But there's nothing I can do about that until, you know, it starts painfuling. So it's not something I spend a lot of time on because, like you said, it's since I was able to understand the concept of death, I've known I'm going to die. So like, what is there to worry about? Like, what? It's just a doorway to the next one. Like, I probably came from another one to this one. You know, like, no, yeah, yeah. It's not really a big deal to me. Kevin said, I chatted with ChatGPT about unfairness and injustice of the world, and my mind was completely blown. I felt heard and was literally by a computer. This is what I've been trying to tell people, Kevin. Especially now that they got the voice feature. You sit there, have a conversation, and like, and that's what's going to draw people in, especially, you know, in this times of like, you know, increased loneliness, I feel, is it'll be like, okay, I can sit here and talk to nobody, or I can sit here and talk to ChatGPT. And even though I know it's a computer, at least it's a conversation. And it's an intelligent conversation. You know, I keep telling people, you know, it will be it will be a normal occurrence for you to call somebody, and then they call you back like 30 minutes later, and they be like, "Oh, bad, my bad, bro. I was talking to the AI. I was talking to AI about something." You know what I mean? It'll be regular. Oh, okay. So yeah, I was in the middle of conversation with ChatGPT, man. So I just wanted to finish that up. Be regular. Be regular. Probably. There's nothing specific I'm scared of. That was my topic for like the first 30 minutes or so was just like how it's okay to be scared of things in life, but we don't have to worry about them. Yeah. Nah, Ricky, I appreciate the sentiment, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna die. This human thing is temporary. Here's the thing: I'm not. I don't want to live forever in this existence. Why wouldn't I want to experience other existences? Like this whole Timothy Ward thing is cool. Yeah, no, I love y'all. I love my friends. I like mountains and water and chicken wings, and pork knuckles when I'm in Thailand. You know, uh, it's cool. But I'm pretty sure when I get about 80, 90, I'm gonna be like, okay, I could go. You know, I say that now sometimes. Like, I'm chilling. So like the ideal of like dying is a bad thing is one that I'm trying to not subscribe to. Like when it's like, you know, I'm sure if I die, you know, at 50 or something, like, dang, that was stuff I wanted to do. But like, you know, it's not it's just a gateway, bro. Like I'm not going anywhere. I'm just going somewhere different. If that makes any sense. Alvin, that's just a topic I don't like to talk about. Someone who's in the hospitality industry and who is constantly in different Airbnbs and hotels, I just don't like talking about that. I just don't like having that. It's just something I don't like talking about. But I will say, um, I experienced them one time at a hotel I worked at. It wasn't me. Some lady came and was like, "Hey, we got him in my room." And it's not. I mean, you put the heat machine in there. You crank the machine up to 120 degrees. You have to go. Since I was a head housekeeper, I had to go in there. every couple hours and check and make sure it was working. Which you don't realize how hot 120 degrees is in a hotel room, a little bitty hotel room, until you go in there. And then at the end of the day, you take the machine out, it's killed them all. Boom, boom, boom. Um, but yeah, I typically, since it's you and you support a lot and everything, I don't want to just ignore you. But it's not a topic I like to talk about because all it does is it's like a fearful topic. And I know you don't mean it that way, but like it's just one of those things. Once again, I think you hear about it, so we get nervous about it. But like, and I guess if I answer, that's the only time I've dealt with them really. Um, Maybe that's a positive answer, but it's kind of one of those things like you have no control over who's going to be somewhere before you. So short of you coming in the room and looking for them, I mean, yeah, like I just spend very little time on that topic because like it doesn't. Yeah. Like I think it's just that pork, just tastes like pork, like I'm not good at describing texture. I'm not a foodie, so I'm not good at describing taste and texture and all that. I just eat it. It'd be like if someone's like, "What do chicken wings taste like?" You're gonna say chicken. You know what I mean? Yeah, I've heard of Bob Proctor. Oh yeah, Rob's. That dude. I think the secret. I mean, it's just manifestation. It's just focus. So I think that the secret did a good job of packaging it up in a way that appealed to a lot of people. But it's nothing new. It's the same game. But the secret did a great job of marketing. Yeah. Black hole. This is an Airbnb. Yeah, it's an Airbnb. Sorry to hear about your dad, TT. Definitely. But yeah, I respect that. Your view of it. Like he's at peace. Um, yeah, I think our views on death sometimes are, and it's one of those things that I think we have the views on death we have because other people pass those on to us. Um, but I think if we didn't like, if we grew up in households where people were like, everybody dies. It's just nothing to be scared of. We wouldn't be scared of it. But it's just not what we get. Like when I die, like I don't want it to be. I hope it's not painful, but I kind of want to be there. Like I kind of want to be awake, just because I want to experience that last 15 seconds or so. You know what I mean? I kind of want to know because they say some people get very like at peace, and I kind of want that. It'd be a shame to live 80 years and miss that. So yeah, I kind of want that peace. You know, I say that now. It might be horrible. I'm joking, but I kind of want that. Like what I mean? That feeling of like I made it. We're no more rent, no more bills. Then I end up probably come right back as a human. I'm like, bills again? Nah. So yeah, I kind of want to be there. I kind of want to know, like, oh, this is it, bro. All right. I'll probably be crying and all kind of stuff. No, no, no. I'll probably be like, all right, hey, they ain't got to worry about none of this no more. Like, let's get it. Y'all know. And yeah, Kevin, I get why a lot of people don't like to talk about death, and I have to respect their views. It bothers a lot of people. That's why I wish we talked about it differently, so people wouldn't be bothered about it. But yeah, when the way a lot of people are brought up and the views they've had on death, and we can't gloss over the fact that like organized religion is scared. billions of people into thinking something bad's gonna happen when they die. Um, so yeah, like people just get a fearful view of it. So like I get if you're scared of something, you don't want to talk about it. I get it. I just don't have the fear, you know? Justin starting at Yellowstone was in Terra tomorrow. Let's go. 39-hour drive from Maine. Okay, okay, okay. Hopefully not everyone hates security. Montana's a vibe. Montana's a vibe. It's a vibe. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But Justin, I feel like the people who doing stuff hate security. Or they got something. I don't want to hate's a strong word, but they got a chip on their shoulder about security. The people who not doing nothing, if you a decent security guard, nobody cares. You know what I mean? That's been my experience. The people that was security and they was cool, none of us cared. Like you was happy. Hey, if I lock myself out my room, I'll come get you know what I mean? He was cool with them. It was the people who trying to like, do dope in the room and other stuff who always had something stupid to say about security. But like, or if the security guards were a-holes, which I'm sure you're not. But like, but the average person doesn't care. Like they're not doing nothing. Like because the average person just sees security as someone who can help them if they need help. People who trying to do some foolishness, they're worried about getting caught. But like, if I'm not doing nothing foolish, why do I care about security? Like they're there to look out for me. You know. So yeah, I don't think you should have any issues. Picking up Hindu vibes? Where? Yeah, no. Grocery shopping with Tim? I just go down there and I mainly get meals that have already been prepared. So since I don't cook currently, we're gonna work on that though. But I mainly get meals that have already been prepared. Yeah. How long do you have to sleep your way through your current situation before you wake up? I don't know. I feel like that's a unanswerable question until you wake up. You know, if you wake up. Okay, we're not doing this. Respectfully, we're not doing this. That's just crazy. Some stuff's too crazy. I'd be like, we're not talking about that. Respectfully. Nah, it's just sometimes I just be like, come on, bro. Like we're not. Like, come on, now. Like we try to keep it at a certain level of you know what I mean? Like some stuff, like bro, like you can't substantiate that. We can't just go sit here because people will do it. Oh, I'm gonna look to bro. Like okay, respectfully, maybe I just come on now. Like we grown here. Like we not. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, the chat's descending. It's going. It's going. All right. What is it? Yeah, it's about that time. Yeah. Chat starts getting a little weird. Chat starts getting a little weird about this time. Avo oil instead of olive oil? What does that mean? Like avocado oil? Oh. Oh, okay. Is that a thing? I wouldn't know. No, no, no. We gonna go for a little longer, Angela. We go for a few more minutes. Though I do start to. I'll be, okay, yeah, it's about to. Yeah, 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 yeah. That does play a role in it. Sometimes I'll be in the zone, and then the chat starts to get a little. I'll be like, yeah, probably about that time. About that time. Comedy. I've been sober for 6 years. It might be going to be 7 this year. I always forget when July, August starts to roll. I'm like, oh, it's about to be another year. Honestly, it's 6 going on 7. I think. I'm hoping to forget. I'm already about to forget, but I'm hoping to totally forget because um, the only reason I even keep track of the years for like to tell people because I think it can be inspirational. But I'm never going to drink again, so like I don't need to know how long it's been because it's over. So it's kind of like you don't keep track of how long you've been broken up from somebody. That would seem weird. If he was like, yeah, me and Keisha broke up 5 years ago today, people would be like, bro, get off Keisha's nuts like that, bro. You know, they like, dude, why you still talk about her? That's kind of how I see alcohol. Like it's over. So I don't. I always forget. I'm saying. So I think it's been 6 going on 7 years. Yeah. Travis, what up? We're not saying where we're at currently, but I'll update y'all soon. It was good to see you. A lot of olive oil is not really olive oil. Go avocado. But that begs the question: if they can call fake olive oil, how do I know that the avocado oil is real? Couldn't they call fake avocado oil avocado oil? Got to ask yourself these things. I don't know. Spread my message at college camp. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Oh, so that's Hindu teaching? The Hindus believe the same? Okay. Yeah, here's my thing. In life, I just have my beliefs and like they're not tied to like any faith. It's funny to me that if you mention a belief, we'll always try to tie it to a religion. Oh, you must be a Buddhist. You must be Hindu. Is we can't just believe stuff. Not coming to you, landlocked Larry. But like I hear that a lot. People will try to like, oh, are you this? Or I'm like, I'm nothing. Like I'm just Tim. Like these are just my beliefs. Like they don't all have to be. It's almost like we can't have a belief unless we got it from like somewhere else. It's just like no, I just been observing the universe, and I listen to things, and I pick up on stuff, but like I don't have to. My beliefs don't have to fall under like any umbrella. I'm big enough. I don't need to be under a bigger umbrella. You know what I mean? So yeah, I just find that weird. People always, oh, are you this? No, I'm just Tim, bro. I'm not even Tim. I'm just whatever this energy is. Butter's the butter's the only trustworthy source. A good margarine, you're always safe with a good margarine. Okay, I don't know what that means. Yeah, Kevin, and I think a lot of people, I think a lot of people don't trust the term God anymore, just because so many people have used it negatively or used it for their own personal benefit. Um, so I think that's why a lot of people will just say the divine higher power because they're like, I'm not trying to reference all this other stuff that comes with nothing against God, but I'm not trying to reference all the other stuff that like people have put on God that other people might think of when I say God. Um, so yeah, and I honestly, and this is just my human opinion, I could be wrong, but the highest power in the universe, I don't think is up there quibbling about what we call it. Like when you know you're him, you know you're her, like and people are referencing you and they're not doing it disrespectfully. I don't think that's wars have been started over like what to call God, which is crazy to me. Um, so yeah, whatever phrase you're comfortable with, I think it's fine. Like it's not that's not the I think the big issue we're dealing with these days. But see you Slim tonight. Oh, comedy! I pray multiple times every day. You know, I think that if you have a direct hotline to the most powerful source in the universe, like use it. And I think prayer is once again good for like focus. So like when you pray about something, I think you're not only speaking to the divine about it, which a problem. What is it? I just said it earlier. Wait, what is it? A problem shared is a problem halved. You know what I mean? So imagine sharing and having your problem, halving, cutting in half your problem with the divine. Um, but I think it also, keeps us focused on working on that issue. But yeah, I think there's a lot of power in prayer. Trout House Comics, I respect that. I'm not the type of person who would ever try to argue. I would never try to convince you there is a God. Like if you wanted to have a discussion, we could discuss, but I'm never the type of person who would try to convince someone there's a God because I totally understand. Like you said, you look around the world, you don't see God anywhere. I get that. I see that. I could see why someone could see that, especially if you're only looking at the bad in the world. Which is why I focus on the positive, the beautiful, the amazing, the awesome. And by doing that, it's impossible for me not to see a higher power. But I totally understand other people's viewpoint on that. I totally do. So yeah, I'm definitely not someone who's like you're wrong. There's a but. So I respect that. Like I get it. You know, I hope the day comes when you see more beauty in the world. That's all I would say. Like I hope the day comes when you see more beauty in the world. Because there is a lot of beautiful, amazing things going on in the world. A lot of love in the world, and God is love. So, but yeah, I get it, man. I get it. You said Alan Watts talks are too confusing for you, Kevin. I get it. I get it. Respect it. Travis had a very Alan Watts X view on God. A lot of I listen to a lot of Alan Watts. So because like my thoughts kind of sync up with him on a lot of stuff. Not everything. Sometimes I'd be like, oh, I don't know, Alan. You lost me there. Um, but that's the beauty of belief is like there, and that's kind of my problem with organizations that say like you have to believe everything we say. I don't know if that's how it works. At least that's not how it works for me. Like I said, everybody knows I love Alan Watts, but there's some stuff he'll say, and I'm like, yeah, I just don't agree with that. And it doesn't mean I'm right and he's wrong, or he's wrong and I'm right. Like, or it's just we don't believe the same thing, and it's fine. And if you can go in a religious setting and be like, yeah, I believe 80% of this, but not 20, and they're like, cool, respect. But when someone's like, no, you have to believe 100% of what we say, or it's a problem. I just don't think that's how life works. You know, how many people are married to the love of their life and they've been married for 50 years and they disagree to this day? You know what I mean? The person that they vowed to spend their whole life with, they had their kids with, they're gonna be with that person until they die. They like, I don't agree with her on that though. It's just not practical to have to agree with everything. Anyway, just my views. I like Mel Robbins too. I think Mel Robbins is very attractive. Like I do. There's something very hot about Mel Robbins. That's not to take away from her message because I love her message, but there's something very hot about Mel Robbins. I don't know. I would like to like talk to her. I know she's married, but I would love to like see her in person because I tell her, I'm like Mel, you're changing lives, you're helping millions. More importantly, though, I love it. The glasses, that I love it. I love it. It's working. It's working, Mel. Uh, keep doing what you're doing. It's working. I like Mel. Yeah, it's very sexy about Mel. Yeah, in Trout House Comics, you said you think the organizations are happier with their tax breaks than with the Lord. That's why I'm a big believer in separating the two. Like I can't allow what organizations and people do in God's name to like affect my relationship with God because they're two separate things. Anybody could show up today and start a YouTube channel and be like, I'm speaking for Timothy Ward now. I'm Timothy Ward's assistant, and he says so and so. It's a total lie. And people would be like, no, you're not. That's the way I view some of these organizations who is all about money and all that. I'm like, I can't just because you stand up in front of a group of people and say you speak for God, no, no, you don't. So like I just try not to let religion or people, taint my relationship or make me feel different about God because they're two different things. Like they ain't got nothing to do with each other. They just say they do. Book I would recommend now, The Dynamic Laws of Prosperity by Catherine Ponder. Philosophers, Brian, I don't do favorites, but I listen to a lot of Alan Watts, Alan de Botton. He's another one I like. Um, some of the old school, Epic. I like a lot of the Stoics. Epictetus, Aurelius, Seneca, uh, uh, um, Heraclitus, Diogenes. I love me some Diogenes. Heraclitus, I like too. But Diogenes, yeah, I love me some Diogenes. Yeah. I wish they have more of his writings because Diogenes is that dude. Diogenes the dog, you know? If Joel Osteen disagreed with you, would you think he's the authority on the matter? Um, it depends on what the matter was, you know. I'm sure there's some things Joel Osteen is an expert on, you know. I'm not gonna say I have to agree with him on everything, spiritually, but there's some things I might be like, yeah, Joel's got me. I don't know. I like Joel Osteen. I like hearing him talk. It's very like ASMR. I like Joel Osteen. I'm not saying I agree with his beliefs or the stuff he does. I just like him as a person, as an orator. I like his voice. But yeah, it would depend. Like, I'm not gonna look at anybody and just think they're an authority until I've listened to like them talk and decided whether I think they're an authority. And I think that's a problem. People have titles and followings, and suddenly we think they're an expert, and then whatever they say, we believe. But it's like, no, you're supposed to listen to what they say and then decide for yourself whether you think they're an expert. But we don't do that these days. It's too much work. We rather just like, oh, they say that's an expert, but tangent there. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you. Stoic Fox. Zen Fox. Thank you, thank you. The continued support. Thank you, Kevin. Well, vast. I think I know Alan Watts would be the first to say there's nothing to say. You said he says a lot while saying nothing. There's nothing to say. You know, he would be the first, if he was still alive, he'd be the first to admit there's nothing to say, bro. He even says when his talks on Zen, he's like, for you to really get your money's worth, I should just come up here and like slap my fan and walk off. All this I'm saying is extra. I'm doing you a disservice by talking. If I talk to you for an hour about Zen, I'm doing you a disservice. It takes 2 seconds. So Alan Watts would be the first to say there's nothing to, of course he's saying nothing. There's nothing to say. And once you get that, like it's mhm, 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 mhm. Yeah, they're not ready for that. Mhm. Oh yeah, meditations. I've told this story many times, Brian. But yeah, meditations. I remember when I first read it, I was talking to this girl at the time, and like I would not shut up talking about it. I'm like, bro, but you don't understand. Like this, she was like, really? She humored me. But yeah, I could tell. Yeah, I just will not shut up. Like that book is different. Like some mic drops. I'm telling you, bro, don't come for the. We do this. We do this. Like we want to talk. We can talk, but don't especially don't try to come for Alan Watts like that, bro. Like if you gonna come with some ammunition. You don't want to bring a rusty knife to the gunfights. You know what I mean? These things shoot. Okay, okay, all right, Tim, calm down, calm down. You're making it worse. There's not. That's. I mean, that's just. There's nothing there. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm going to jump off. We've been going for like 2.5 hours. So yeah, I think I'm going to wind it down. What do I have to do tonight? Oh, Jose checking it. Oh, my mom, hold on. We got Jose checking it. Super Chat Squad. Thank you, thank you. I was hoping Jose came through because he said he commented on the video earlier. Jose, my brother, good to see you. Said Tim, to having a blast in NYC this weekend and life. Yes, yes. Your comment, you said you was having a good week already. You're looking forward to your is it your birthday weekend? Your weekend in NYC. So shout out to you, Jose. Appreciate you coming through. Sorry to hear this. Oh wait, what Charles? We gotta keep going. We gotta keep going. The abundance is still flowing. So shout out to you, Jose. And yeah, enjoy your weekend. Have fun. When you get through it all, check in with us. Let us know how it went. Thank you. And we got Charles coming through. Charles, and I appreciate the twos. Thank you. I appreciate the twos. That means a lot. Said I've been enjoying your content since I found your channel several years ago. Please keep up the genuine and great work. Yes, we will. We will, Charles. We will. Um, we will. And like when people come through with love, I don't like ending the stream. So we'll go a little longer. We'll go just a bit longer. If anybody else has something they want to talk about, maybe 30 more minutes. Because I don't want to cut off Jose and Charles like that, especially since Charles been following the channel for years. Appreciate you sticking around. Thank you. Did I say Super Chat Squad? Thank you, thank you, Charles Peace. Thank you, Jose. We here. Nah, we're not gonna go. Yeah, and Victoria just got here, so you know. Um, Danny, I don't know what I'll stream next. I actually might get down to the library maybe Wednesday, um, and book a room. Maybe like Wednesday. Maybe like Wednesday. Yeah, yeah. We'll go for a little longer. Layla said we here. Yeah. When the love's coming through, I don't like to, you know, be like, thanks, folks. I'm out. So we can go a little longer. Brian said, what made you want to start making YouTube videos? It's funny, Brian. I just thought it was like Facebook for like videos. So it was just like I thought, maybe some of my friends would follow and they could just see videos of what I was doing. There was no concept of like a YouTube channel or subscribers or monetization or none of that stuff. I just and I had been there had been other like video um sites before YouTube that I've been on, like Daily Motion, and there were some other ones that you just posted little videos, and sometimes people watched them. So YouTube was just another one, and it just happened to be the one that won. And I feel blessed that it was one that I got on, and I started. I think I started doing. I don't know if I did the North Dakota video oil rig videos first, or I did the comic book ones, or maybe they were all around the same time. But um, the one that stuck, well, actually, the North Dakota oil rig videos did very well, and honestly, I think those are the ones that got me monetized. You know, now that I think about it, I think those are the ones that got me monetized. But I took all those down because I don't agree with that anymore. But yeah, then I just started doing comic book videos, and you just that was my first channel. Um, they sent me the paperwork about monetization. I almost didn't do it. I was like, I'm not doing this. I was like, Tim, you might make a couple dollars. Like, one of the best decisions of my life. But yeah, there was no concept of it being anything more than every now and then I would just post a video and 5 or 6 of my friends would watch it, or a couple people. This was no concept. You know. Jose said I had an awesome weekend. Celebrate my birthday this Saturday. Okay, so this Saturday. Okay, gonna make the most of NYC. Yeah, you doing it big, Jose. Birthday weekend, New York. Let's go. Let's go. Thank you, Executioner. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. God is good. Fear is silly. Um, I agree. God is good. Here's the thing, and we talked about this earlier. I don't think we have to demonize fear. Like fear, it's just you can accept it. Like you can be scared of something. Like worrying, I think, and that's kind of what the stream in the beginning was about. Like worrying is a problem, but like it's okay to be scared. It doesn't. We don't have to suppress it, or like I think it's like there will be scary things in life. It's what we do after the fear that I think is the issue. But like it's okay to be like it's okay. We're going to be scared. It's okay. But we don't have to like allow the fear to overtake us and cause us to worry endlessly. That's silly. I agree. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Super Chat Squad. Thank you. Hey, I try. Thank you, Kevin. I try to keep it genuine. Like I always say, I got nothing else. Like I, I could try lying, but it wouldn't. It wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. So I'm like, hey, yeah, and that is the thing too. Like people do relate with authenticity and realness. Um, and in the past, I wasn't as open about certain things, or as forthcoming about. But like you learn, like, oh, if I'm honest, if I try to be authentic, if I'm real, if I talk about real stuff, like that helps people. And then they also open up and they're real and they're honest, and that helps me. And like so uh I just it works out better, I think, all the way around when we're honest and real, you know? It might work out better in the short term, like financially or whatever, sometimes to lie, but long term it doesn't. Like people know. People know. The first philosophy or spiritual book I ever owned, I mean, the first spiritual book I ever owned was the Bible, but grew up reading the book. There's a hot air balloon out there. Interesting. But as far as the first, ooh, I don't know. Hmm. Hmm. The first philosophy book. I'm not sure. I can't remember. I can't remember, Travis. Trying to think back. Oh, I had a book by Osho years ago about Taoism. That might have been one of the first. And I've been trying to find that book ever since. I can't find it. But I had, well, was that first? That was going back a ways. Yeah, I had a book by Osho about Taoism that I totally like did not understand, but I liked, you know what I mean? I liked reading it. Like I was getting it, but I wasn't getting it. But like I liked reading it. It was very calming. Um, that might have been one of the first, yeah. But that was before I really was into it. I was just kind of, oh, this book looks cool. Yeah, like water on the cover. And I kind of got into it, but like I wasn't getting it. But yeah, that might have been one of the first. Yeah, exactly. Executioner. It's natural to feel like, yeah, it like because you understand this possibility. Yeah, certain things my business could fail. You're a little scared, but you don't think it will. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to be up all night worrying about it. But like it's a possibility, and like we can accept fear. You know, it's a possibility. This could happen. I'm not worried about it though. And if it does happen, I'll just deal with it. You know, there's nothing else really to say. You know, unless there's some action we can take. Okay, I'm afraid my business can fail. There's a couple things I can do. Cool. Beyond that, like what, you know? Starfish. I like sitcoms. I watch a lot of like British sitcoms from the '60s and '70s and '80s on YouTube. Yeah, there's not a lot, like a lot of new. I don't watch like a lot of new sitcoms, but I like the old UK stuff. Yeah, I don't know if I'd ride in a hot air balloon. I'd do it on like a date. That seems like a pretty awesome date. Be like, yeah, you want to go up in a hot air balloon? Very close quarters. Ooh, you, her, and the balloon operator threesome. No, I'm joking. Um, I'd probably do it on like a date, but I just do it myself. Victory. I have read the Tao Te Ching. I have. Hold on. Goes with me everywhere I go. I got a copy of the Bible that goes with me, and my copy of the Tao Te Ching. It's the Dr. Wayne Dyer version, so he has, you know, some stuff he's added on the other pages, you know, on this page. But yeah, yeah, yeah. Great book. Great book. Oh, basketball. Glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. Yeah, if you can find a job that brings you peace and meaning, you know, that's something that unless you just really like the corporate landscape, and some people do, but for a lot of people, you know, they're really in the, you know, climbing the corporate ladder for the money, maybe the prestige, but like if that doesn't mean anything to you, you know, this seems crazy to say, but there's a lot of people who, you know, peace and meaning and fulfillment means more than money. A lot of people. And here's the thing too, you can find a job that brings you peace and meaning and fulfillment and makes you money. You know? So yeah, 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 yeah. Glad we could help you with that, you know, a little bit. Awesome. Oh Monkey, you trying to move to Oregon? Okay, okay. I've never moved normally. So I've always moved through like seasonal work for the most part. So I don't know if I'm the best person to give advice um, about moving like normally. Because I don't really think I've ever. The one time I like moved like that, I just moved like an hour up the road. I just went from Florida to Gainesville, from the city I was living in to Gainesville. And but I did, yeah, I just got a job. I just started looking for jobs in Gainesville, and then when I got one, I just found a room to rent, and boom, But like, yeah, that's just me as like a single dude. So I think I really wouldn't know how to do it as like, with a family or anything like that. Sorry. Vast, yes, I have arrived at seasonal jobs and realized they were not the job for me. Yes, I have. You know, uh, and in some cases, I there's been times I arrived and I was like, I don't know. And some of them I've stuck it out and be like, okay. There's been others where I was like, nah, I'm good. You know, yeah, just like, nah, this ain't the job for me. A couple weeks in, yeah, it's not the job for me. So, I think you have to, just really decide for yourself, like, is this a good fit for me? Can I find something different? You know, yeah, I think you just have to, yeah, is it a good fit for me? And if it's not a good fit, it's not going to be a good fit. So, short of staying while you stack up a little more money or something, it's if it's not a good fit, it's probably not going to become a good fit. If after 2 weeks you've been like, nah, nah. Any advice on how to start again after losing everything? First off, sorry to hear that, Patrick. Here's the good news though. Pretty much anything you do is going to be up. If you lost it all, I think the big part is probably just getting up and getting back to it. But pretty much like anything you do, and I'm not trying to minimize the pain at all, but like I think pretty much anything you do is up. So like I think it just becomes a matter of like, all right, one foot in front of the other, get up, get to it. And I think there is something to the understanding of like, hey, they've done their worst. Now I'm it's my turn. You know what I mean? Like, let's get back to it. And then I think it's just uh plotting that course. But yeah, I don't know if you can make any wrong moves really. It's, all right, now it's like, what do you want to do? Right? It's kind of freeing. Lost it all. Now I can start over. What do I want to do? So yeah, I would lean in on like, what do you want to do? It's about you now. Got nothing to lose. Just do you. Might be one of the turning points. You might look back like 5 years from now, like, bro, like that time when it all went pear shaped. That was the moment because then I had nothing to be scared of, and I could do whatever I want. Now look at me now. I'm not saying it's the best thing ever happened to me, but like I use that to have this amazing life I want it now. No. So, but sorry to hear about that for real. Sorry to hear that. Gratitude. Oh, gratitude Gorilla is right here. He's behind the. I'm like, I know. I just seen him. Yeah, gratitude Gorilla is right there. I got a thing on it's on my forehead, bro. It's on my flu. I just cut my hair like a week ago. I cut it again. I have heard. I don't even know how to pronounce Kevin. Yes, but I have heard of him. Yes, he died recently. Yeah. Yeah, victory internal is where it's at. Yeah, because if you screwed up internally, it don't matter your external. Like you're not going to be able to appreciate it, be able to enjoy it. You know. And if internal is right, then it's easier for you to fix the external. Because when this is on point. You ready to okay? Let's go. This is what's okay. But like when it's hard to do anything. Even when you got the externals amazing. There's a lot of people with amazing lives. They get depressed. They in bed all day. But there's a lot of people with not amazing lives externally, but they're up every day. What this is on point, so they're up every day fixing it. Yeah, this is a nice room. Like blessed. This is a cozy room. I ain't mad at this room. Yeah. Yeah, Kevin, I know exactly who that is. I I think I had one of his books at one time. Um, but yeah, I know exactly who that is. Yeah, yeah. Alvin, I don't get too many people these days trying to convert me to religions, but when they do, I just tell them like, I don't think organized religion is for me. Like it's pretty easy. Like when people hear that, they, you know, and I'll listen respectfully, but I have no problem telling somebody that like I'm not. I mean, half my family is, trying to convert me for 20 years, or they would prefer if I was a certain religion. So I got no problem telling somebody like it's just I respect your opinion, but I just don't think it's for me. And like I've learned if you say the same thing over and over again, people like, because oh, but what about that thing? And I'm like, I respect your opinion. It's just not for me. They can't move. Like, what can you say? Like, so yeah, it's not really that hard. I just I respect your opinion. Respect your faith. I just don't think it's for me. Eventually, they give up. Oh yeah, I stay with the things I keep with me. I keep with me. I keep my Dada Ching with me. I keep my gratitude gorilla with me. I keep my Bible with me. Those are probably the only few things that like I'm like I gotta keep with me. A couple other things, but like the things I keep with me, I keep with me. I don't have much, but like some things, I have a few things that mean something to me, and there's a message behind them. So and forwarding that's something I agree with you on that. Um, that's something I always try to tell people when they have like negative stuff to say about like people who are born rich, or trust fund babies, or people born into like these kind of what we would call soft lifestyles, and people look down on them sometimes, and I'm like, do you understand the struggle they have of like how do they develop character or build personality when everything has always like they haven't had the hardships that other people have, and like why would you look down on somebody? That's a struggle, bro. Yes, they might have had a Benz at 12, and a chauffeur to drive it for them, but like they got their struggles too. This ideal of like, oh, people with money are bad and like it's so easy for them. Yeah, financially, but there's a lot of stuff that like things they might not have gone through because of that financial abundance, or that financial state, that makes it harder for other aspects of their life. I meet somebody and she says she into me, I believe her because I ain't got nothing for her to lie about. If I got $2 million, if I'm born a millionaire and I meet somebody, she says she's into me, I'll never know. You know what I mean? Like, how would you know? Right? So, like, that's people don't think about stuff like that. I try to think. I try to think on things. Let me not down people. I try to think on things like that, before I judge people who might have had easier life in certain areas. It's just like, oh, they have to try even harder to build character. You know what I mean? Get the you know what I mean? Like, so much is dictated by certain things. So it's like, yes, it's interesting. But, oh wait, yeah, like this. We all got our stuff. All got our stuff. Is there a passage in the Tao Te Ching about staying in the center of the circle? Maybe. I don't know it all by heart. I know like the first passage. This goes back to what we were saying earlier about Alan Watts. Um, the Tao. This is the first verse. The Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. But then he goes on to write a whole book about it. There's nothing to say. I don't think I've been to Norfolk or Virginia Beach. No, no, I don't think so. Layla. Comedy, I think a lot of times when we are getting sober, it will be necessary to pull away from or cut off people who aren't on the same journey. And it's a personal decision to decide. Like my thing is this: if I tell you, like, hey, I'm trying to quit drinking. I can't hang out like at the bar, at the clubs, party no more. But you're my guy. So like if you want to get up and grab dinner one day or lunch, just me and you, a couple other people, but we don't drink, I'm fine to do that. And if you'll have friends who can do that. All right, cool. I respect it. I won't drink around you. Me and you can just go get something to eat. We'll go to grab a movie. So I'll come over. Nobody, we'll just hang out. But a lot of times you find that, and you can't blame people if your friendship started around drinking. If you suddenly say like I'm not drinking anymore, they may not want to still hang out with you without drinking, and that's their right. So I found that yeah, like um, there you may have to pull back from some people, but it's us making the change, right? So like if I met some people at the bar and we've been hanging out at the bar and partying and getting drunk for 10 years, and then I say, "Hey, I don't want to do it no more." I can't be mad at them if they don't jump on that same train with me, even if it is healthier. It's me who changed. And if that means like, yeah, I got to pull back or cut some people off, I do what I got to do, but I can't be mad at them. A lot of times they're like, why don't they want to? They don't have to change. You changed. Like bro, we've been doing this. It'd be like if I met some people at the baseball game and we started hanging out and watching baseball. Like that's what we do. We get up, watch baseball games. And then one day I'm like, yeah, I'm not watching baseball no more. But y'all can come swimming with me. And they're like, bro, I don't want to swim. I want to watch baseball. You can't be mad at them. You wanted to start swimming. So like that's the way I look at it. It's like, yeah, you may have to pull back. Yeah, we may have to, switch some friends out. It's not their problem though. We changed. And even though it's for the better, we have to understand that like they're not where we're at and they don't have to be. It'd be nice if they were. And it's cool when you have some friends that are like, cool, I get it. Yeah, no, okay. But we changed. We changed the friendship dynamic. Um, and so yeah, it helps to look at it that way. Like, oh, I'm the one, causing waves. And I may have to do that to get sober, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's not their problem. Like we switched it up, y'all know. Hey, confidence going up, RMJ, let's go. If you sleep with the Bible under your pillow, you wake up feeling different, much better. That might be true, or it could be the placebo effect. If you believe putting the Bible under your pillow makes you feel better, you probably will wake up feeling better. The placebo effect is powerful. Google it. They got books on it. It's powerful. Hey, Victory, that's awesome. Yeah, a lot of people still able to go to bars and stuff and hang out like no problem. Everybody's sobriety journey is different. Like I've said, like when I first was getting sober, um, I was still down in Florida hanging out with a buddy of mine. He sat on his porch. We literally would sit on the porch drinking after work every day. And I still sat out there. I just drank iced tea. Didn't bother me. Especially when, everybody started getting drunk and acting crazy. I'm like, yeah, that ain't me no more. So it's just like, yeah, some people can do it, some can't, there were other friends that I probably couldn't have done that with, So it's not one size fits all when it comes to sobriety. Like you have to figure out for yourself, like what are your triggers? What can you do? What can't you do? Um, some things that people say stay away from, you don't have to stay. You might be cool with it. Other things that other people can do, you might be like, nah, I can't even do that. Or I'm not even gonna risk it. So yeah, it's different, you know. Yeah, comedy. Sorry to hear about your friend. I know too from personal experience. One of the hardest things is like, yeah, when your friends are going through it, because you're really seems like you're there for them, and that's all you can do. Um, Provide moral support, be there for people, but you can't. You know, we're gonna do what we're gonna. Just like nobody could make me get sober. You can't make anybody get sober. Like it's one of the hardest things, bro. Like especially when you have a friend who's lost the fight. Yeah, it's hard, man. It's But we do what we can. Yeah, no. Um, all we can do is be there for people, and hope they get back. And some people do. Some people win the fight, but you know. Hedgerow checking in. Want to say hi from Cedar Grove and Kings Canyon National Park. Let's go. Been here 3 weeks and love it. Yes. Yes, I love to hear that. I love to hear that. They are short staffed in housekeeping, so keep them busy. That seems to be the thing. I'm hearing that a lot around the country, especially this time of year. I think before maybe the J1s, if they get them, show up. But yeah, get that OT. Tell them you that you'll take that OT. Let's go. That's awesome. Thank you for the update. I'm always loving when people say I made it and I'm loving it, because occasionally someone will be like, "I made it." I'm like, "Dang it!" But yeah, when someone's like, "I made it and I love it," they work in me. I love it. That's good to hear, Hedro. Have fun. Kings Canyon National Park. One of those national parks you never hear about. Do you? You don't hear about it much. I need to go there. I need to go there. Jose said, "Thanks to your channel, Tim, I've learned to follow my gut or inner guidance, as some call it. When something feels right and you feel at peace about it, go for it. Yes, all we can do is be there for people. Facts. That whole the talk about instinct, your gut, intuition, yeah, man, it's powerful. It's powerful. Like it's you. It's you basically being like, eh. You gotta listen to that stuff. And if you're willing to sacrifice, especially like short-term pleasure or instant gratification or other stuff to listen to it, I found that like your life can be a lot better. But yeah, when we try to when we go against our gut, a lot of times for selfish reasons, yeah, then you gotta pay that price. So I was about to say, isn't that what the sequoias are? I was about to say, like, aren't there some special trees there? See, I gotta get up there. Kings Canyon National Park. That's awesome. Beauty. It's all about beauty. Being surrounded by beauty, bro. Yeah, Kevin. It's I wish drinking wasn't so mainstream and wasn't pushed. They tell you to drink when you have a good day. They tell you to drink when you have a bad day. They tell you to drink when you're bored. Tell you to drink when you're doing something fun. Um, and I wish, like, once again, I'm not demonizing alcohol. It's some people drink it and have no problem, but I wish we had more of an objective like viewpoint of it, of like you can choose to drink or not, and if you do choose to drink, it really messes some people up, as opposed to kind of the ideal we still have that like everybody drinks. But all we can do is spread the message, especially to like young people. I don't have kids, but if I have kids, I'd be like, hey, I'd sit them down and be like, I know you probably gonna try it. Let me just tell you dad's experience and just watch yourself. If you feel you're getting too whatever, pull back. It's not something you need to do on a regular basis, but I'm not going to tell you to never drink because that'll make you want to drink. But like, just know it can go left. And if you feel it going left, pull back. Um, because you ain't coming in this house drunk. Your grandma didn't let me come in the house drunk. You ain't come out drunk. But anyway, we just hit 3 hours. I'm gonna jump off. I enjoyed that extra 30 minutes as well. Actually, thank y'all. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all being here. Shout out to Angela, world's best moderator. Shout out to. I'm like, dang, I got so caught up in talking, I forgot my ending. Shout out to everybody, the lurkers, the thumbs uppers, the couple people you had to block with love. Big shout out to the super chat squad. Big shout out to the super chat squad. Y'all came through very heavy tonight. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate the abundance, the prosperity. Thank y'all. Shout out to the whole community here. Ain't nobody broke around here. We live in life. We all happy around here. I'm gonna start saying more positive stuff about the community, and then we're gonna watch it manifest. But thank y'all for being a part of it. It means so much to me. I'm gonna jump off, say the prayers I said I was gonna say, have my bourbon chicken for dinner, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Love y'all. Talk to y'all soon.